Calgary coach Roger Lyons has had enough of no cigars. His club has dropped the WBL championship in the title round the last 2 years. But the saying goes that uneasy is the head that wears the crown. So far in 91, the defending champs, the Youngstown Pride, are #1 and Calgary #2 in the 2-division league. But the 88's have beaten the Pride twice in the last 10 days. Tonight, Saskatchewan will find out just how good Calgary is. With the beautiful city of Calgary as a backdrop, the Saddle Dome is center stage as Sports Channel America presents the World Basketball League. Tonight, Saskatchewan Storm against the Calgary 88's. And good evening wherever you may be tonight. Welcome to the World Basketball League. I'm Eddie Doucette. With me, Tom Nasalki. Tom is a gentleman that has coached in a lot of leagues and enjoying life these days in the World Basketball League. Pretty good ball.
Oh, it's just terrific. Very fast. Just great basketball.
And the Calgary 88's, of course, this is the team that this city loves, and they have had a very fine run since the inception of the league. They've done it with a special formula, a lot of veterans.
Well, the thing is, Eddie, they've done a great job here in this franchise of keeping their top players with a good character around. They've got Chip England, Jim Thomas, Carlos Clark, Perry Young, so it's no accident that they've had the record that they have that they've had.
Tom, I'm a little confused, however. Who makes out the schedule for this league? This poor club has been on the road 11 of the first 12 games, and yet they're sitting there with a nice record of 7-5.
Well, the thing is, they're off to a great start. They've beaten Youngstown twice. Tonight, they start 9 straight at home, and they've got an opportunity to get off to a tremendous start by the All-Star break, be far ahead, and make it very, very tough for somebody to catch them.
The Saskatchewan Storm, if you look at their roster, some good talent. They've had some injury problems, and the foremost one would be their ace, and that's Donald Petty's. I understand he won't play tonight.
Yeah, Donald Petty's is going to be out. They've had Everett Stevens, who has been injured, back, but tomorrow they're going to pick up Brian Pollard, who's a terrific player, and they're going to be a very, very good club the rest of the way.
Last year, their draft was a good one. They picked up a young man as the #2 pick by the name of Jeff D. Conley. He came from Santa Clara, and he has been sensational. He'll get a lot of the load as far as scoring is concerned tonight.
He's a good player, Eddie. You know, he came out of nowhere last year. No one really knew much about him, and he came into the league, did a terrific job, and he's just taken up right now where he left off last season.
For Mike Riley, who's the coach of the Saskatchewan team, the question is, how do you replace a Donald Petty's?
What we're trying to do in Donald's situation is compensate for his loss by using 2 and possibly 3 guys. We feel like that Dudley Bradley has got enough size that he can play down in there for a few ball games and give us a different look defensively. And then we've also got the possibility of using Jeff D. Conley down there some and bringing a couple of players off of our bench. So we're just going to try to cover those 40 minutes with 2 or 3 different people.
We're talking 6'5" and under in this league. It's fast, it's exciting, and we'll have the starting lineups for you when we come back. We're at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, and it's the WBL on Sports Channel America.
Hi. Take your feet off the table. Now, here's your bag of Eagle potato chips. Here's my bag of Eagle potato chips. Now, we're going to open them. Not like an animal. Watch me. I open it easily. I remove 1 chip. Now, I taste it. The quintessence of taste and crunchiness. Go ahead.
Eagle potato chips, everyone loves them.
When you need more than just a thirst quencher, make the move to Power Burst. Power Burst, the advanced performance beverage designed to replace the vital fluids and nutrients your body loses whenever and however you work hard. Power Burst increases your endurance while it satisfies your thirst fast. And Power Burst comes in 4 great tasting flavors. So whenever you're thirsty for whatever you do, make the move to Power Burst.
Every week, TV Guide pulls together everything that's going on TV. Then we lay it all out to help you decide what's best for you and your family. This week highlights 7 days worth of top flight programming. Daily guidelines alert you to each day's best bets. And our close-ups give you concise, in-depth background on noteworthy shows. So week in, week out, when you want to know what's really worth watching on television, what's really worth reading is TV Guide.
Calgary, Alberta, a beautiful city, home of the 88's. And tonight, they play the Saskatchewan Storm in the Saddle Dome. Here's the way the starting lineups for tonight's game will look to you. First of all, they'll start Jerry Johnson and Everett Stevens at the guards for Saskatchewan against England and Thomas for Calgary. They'll go with Dudley Bradley and Jeff D. Conley at the forwards for the Storm. Carlos Clark and Jerry Stroman at the forwards for Calgary. And then Mike Flory will be in the middle, and Perry Young will go against him for Calgary. So that's the way they line up. We're ready to go. Calgary, one of the mainstays in the World Basketball League. They've done a real fine job. Averages? Well, we'll tell you about that and more, and we'll do it for you when we come back on Sports Channel America. You're watching the
Welcome to the city, welcome to the fun, welcome to the pulse of Milwaukee, everyone. This is where they come to do the avenue. This is what it's all about. The Grand Avenue. Always something to see, always something to do. The Grand Avenue. The Grand Avenue is Milwaukee.
Geneva Lakes Kennel Club, Wisconsin's premier greyhound racetrack.
Welcome back to the Saddle Dome here in Calgary, the home of the Calgary 88's. The 88's in Saskatchewan tonight. The officials for tonight's basketball game, a couple of Mikes, Mike Foote and Mike Price. And they'll be handling a brand new basketball that the World Basketball League will be featuring, and hopefully will catch on. A white ball with the globe on it. It's a beautiful ball. I think it's kind of the kind of thing that a lot of youngsters all over the world, and I say all over the world, will really catch on. And the ceremonial tip-off is just about ready to put this ball in play as Michelle Cameron did the festivities for us here. As you see one of the officials, and now we're ready to go. Incidentally, for those of you who like the numbers, Jerry Johnson at 18.6 a game. Stevens 10-6 for Saskatchewan, the guards. Dudley Bradley at 13-4. Jeff D. Conley at 20.5. And Mike Flory at 8 on the front line for the Storm. Chip Engelland at 17-7. Jimmy Thomas at 11.6, the guards for Calgary. Carlos Clark 15-3. Jerry Stroman 24-8. He's a rookie and has had a great start so far. And Perry Young at 14.2. Young wins the tap. That's Chip Engelland. Played collegiately at Duke. Played on an ACC champion. Stroman to Carlos Clark. Jimmy Thomas from Indiana. NCAA championship club in '81. Engelland. Carlos Clark back to Engelland. Good three-point shooter. He hit it. He's one of the better three shooters in the league at 48%.
He shot 51% last year, Eddie, so he's just a tremendously gifted shooter.
And the Storm come right back to even it up. Back door goes Stroman, juggles the ball, puts it up on the reverse, and good. 4-2 Calgary. And watch this little man fly. This was the Naismith Award winner while he was at college at Florida Southern. For all the players 6 feet and under, he won the award. He can fly. Jerry Johnson And Flory from Marquette on the miss. Thomas in the middle on the fly. Tries to clear it to the wing. Stroman from Utah. Here's special to Conley.
We'll get a chance. Here's Jeffy Conley. Very, very tough guy. Does a tremendous job of running the floor.
Everett Stevens. I remember him. If you followed Big Ten basketball, quite a player at Purdue. And as England tries to launch the shot, it's Everett Stevens with a foul. Question now, Tom Nasalki, with a new ball, and it is a new ball, and a lot of these teams really not used to it. Do you think that there's going to be a problem in terms of any illusions that design may cause, or maybe the same kind of a complaint that you heard years ago from the ABA that it was slippery?
Well, a lot of people used to say that, but it's like any new basketball. You just have to play with it a little bit, and the team's warmed up with it before the ball game. But in most instances, you need to work a ball for probably 2 or 3 days in practice before you use it.
And England, who will go to the line because he was shooting a 3, gets the foul. He'll get a 3rd shot here. Rules are a little bit different in this league, in case you're wondering. It's a speed league. They get 8 seconds to get it over the timeline. The three-point area is international distance. 10-minute quarters and 4 of them. And England with a pair. And now a 7-4 lead here for the Calgary 88's. That's Everett Stevens.
Excuse me, as both teams are using a lot of motion on offense to get started here, the type of a passing game type of offense by both ball clubs.
Jimmy Thomas, Stroman. That's a 3. And it's 10-4 early, and remember the Storm playing without their scoring leader, Donald Petty. And a blocking foul that'll be called against Stroman. And the little man Johnson will get the basket. He'll go to the line. A chance for 3.
Well, the thing that I like about Johnson is that he does a tremendous job of bringing the ball down the court. He almost runs right up the defensive players' backs. He's right on top of them and makes them react very quickly.
10-6, Gary Johnson at the line. Only 5'11", 170, missed free throw. The Saskatchewan team, strangely enough, missing that free throw. They're a good free throw shooting team, 80%. That time, Young tried the one-hand bounce feed to Stroman going to the back door, and he lost the ball. Turn it over. Johnson, Dudley Bradley, North Carolina, one of the better defensive players in a lot of years in the NBA.
That's right. He played 9 years in the NBA and has the all-time rookie steals record.
Jeffy Conley comes diving into the scoring table to our right, but the ball goes out of bounds. And so they'll take a moment here, do a little housekeeping. And they'll give the ball into the Storm side front. As I mentioned, and you'll hear it more and you'll see it certainly, a league that is built on the run. A lot of these fellas have wings in their heels. They can move. That's Jeffy Conley, played at Santa Clara. Inside. Bradley. And there's a 3. He's become a pretty good three-point shooter.
You know, it's interesting, Dudley Bradley, when he was in the NBA, he just did not shoot the basketball. Of course, he didn't get the playing time really to get that offensive stroke down.
Missed shot by Jimmy Thomas. Here's Jerry Johnson. He can create. That time he has it swatted away by Carlos Clark. If you just joined us, this is the World Basketball League on Sports Channel America. On the miss by Chip England, loose ball foul call that may be on whom? Perry Young. But this league is 6'5" and under, and they make sure that you're under 6'5". They have periodic measurements, make you lie on your back, lock your knees, measure you from head to toe. And if you're anywhere close to being over, it's a $10,000 fine against the team. That's Chip England.
Well, as we go on, Eddie, I'll tell a little story about that when I was coaching at Memphis last year, and we had the league come in and measure one of our players. So the guy better be under 6'5".
Dudley Bradley must have learned that move from Michael Jordan back in the North Carolina days when Jordan was a kid coming up. Bradley was a little older. That was a beautiful backdoor move. 13-12, the Storm by 1. Rebound by Flory. Bradley ahead to Johnson. And a foul called on Perry Young. As Jeffy Conley trying to take it to the middle. Tom, any surprise that Jeffy Conley has developed into the kind of scorer he has?
Yes. when he came in last year, I knew that he'd played at Santa Clara. That was about it. I was familiar with the name only. He came in, didn't shoot the basketball very well, and then gradually became more offensive-minded, and he plays on the front line with Donald Petty's. And when Brian Pollard comes back, they are going to have a very, very good play.
He has really emerged as a scorer with a 20.5 per game average. Only 73% at the line, 15-12, Saskatchewan. They played a game the other night against Memphis without Petty's and won that game. This is their second game without their scoring star, Chip England, who's been around here a lot of semesters, gets the Calgary team back to within one. Carlos Clark, Perry Young high. Good board man.
Well, this is the thing now when you've got 5 players that can all handle a basketball, and you've got a guy that can shoot it like Chip England.
He pulled up on that 3, shot it off the dribble, and now it's a 17-15 Calgary lead. Head fake and drive by Everett Stevens. Stevens put in a little NBA time. Outlet off the shot. England stolen by Flory, intended for Young. And give it to Jerry Johnson. Conley, wide open basketball. And out of bounds it goes. Probably a little strange because Calgary coach Roger Lyons is really trying to bring defense to the fore a little bit more. We'll talk about that when we come back. Timeout. Calgary 17, Saskatchewan 15.
Tuesdays, America's love affair with the outdoors takes on a whole new meaning. Fishing and hunting tips and culinary wonders are just a few of the ingredients on Outdoors America. 9:30 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Tuesdays.
Yesterday, they were businessmen.
Do you know what I found yesterday? Hair in my ear. I'm losing hair where I want hair, and I'm getting hair where there shouldn't be hair.
Today, they're cowboys.
What do you think? I think you look like one of the village people.
Tomorrow, they'll be walking funny. Billy Crystal. Bruno Kirby.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Daniel Stern.
Oh, I was just watching him castrate a horse.
Directed by Ron Underwood. City Slickers, rated PG-13.
Well, I'm hungry. How about you?
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Get on basketball's fast track with the World Basketball League Game of the Week.
Las Vegas showtime. Yeah.
Yugoslavia versus Memphis on Sports Channel America, Saturday.
Chip England came from Duke. He played there in '83. He's been impressed with the caliber of ball in the WBL, and he tells us about it right now.
Well, I think the word got out in the basketball fraternity. A lot of the players talk amongst each other, and I think the word got out that the World Basketball League was very competitive and a lot of fun. You play during the summer, but when you have all players under 6'5", it's very quick, and I think a lot of players have elevated their game with a lot of the players going on to the NBA. 8 or 9 guys playing in the NBA out of 60 last year. So I think the competitiveness and the fun is really what's propelled the league.
Roger Lyons on the Calgary side, after you heard from Chip England. Roger, an assistant with the Youngstown team, took this job mid-season a couple of years back, actually in his 3rd year now. And he tells us that he'd really like to slow the style of ball down a little bit, play a little bit more defense. This is your old buddy, Mike Riley.
Well, the thing I like about both these coaches, Mike and Roger, they're guys that have paid their dues. They've been head coaches in college. They've been assistant coaches. They really know the game backwards and forwards.
England right now with 12 points as he leads the Calgary team with a 2-point lead. Everett Stevens, Jeff D. Conley, Carlos Clark, Mike Flory, Jerry Johnson. Oh, they tried to backdoor that time, and Bradley almost threw it away, but it's recovered. Flory with a pretty nice spin move. Came from Marquette.
And he's a guy, he just, as Mike Riley said, Mike Flory, just a banger. He plays hard. He won't get as much playing time, though, when Petty's is back, and then especially when Brian Pollard gets back in the lineup.
Tom Dudley Bradley, he was a terrific defensive player in the NBA, but the style of ball is so up and down here, so quick. The fact that you do all that running, that may take away a little bit from your defensive skills.
You know, it does some because of the pressure put on offensively, but Dudley had a great night the other night against Memphis. Nice move by Carlos Clark posting up. But he had seven assists, 7 steals, and I believe 25 points. So he's 34 years old. He played 9 years, Dudley Bradley did, in the NBA. Carlos, another guy, played with the Boston Celtics for a year, has a championship ring, has done a great job here at Calgary.
'84 was the year they won the title. Perry Young goes out now, and Kelby Stuckey, 6'4 3/4 from Southwest Missouri State, 220-pound banger is in the ball game, averaging a little over 7 rebounds a game. Up the line, Carlos Clark.
Eddie, it's interesting in the halftime interview that I have with Roger Lyons, I asked him the greatest player that he's seen in the WBL, and it's this guy right here, Carlos Clark.
Really?
And that takes into a lot of good players that have then gone on and playing in the NBA. That's quite a compliment.
Averaged about 15 a game last year, a little over 15 a game this year. And it's 19-17 Calgary. Backdoor reverse. And on the miss by Everett Stevens, here comes Chip England. Stuckey flashes through the lane. Ball banged away out of bounds. They'll give it to Calgary from the end line. Kelsey Weems is in off the bench. Here's where Calgary tries to pick up the tempo a little bit with Weems in at the point. He's from North Carolina State. Leads them in assists around 6 a game. There he is. And out of bounds it'll go, and they'll bring it back in with Calgary to trigger the play. Steve Smith from George Mason comes in. Chip England gets his first break. There's Kelsey, about 6'1", in his second year. A year ago, 10.5 a game. This year, 10.7 in the first month of the season. Stuckey, back to Steve Smith. On the miss, Dudley Bradley took it away. Up to Jerry Johnson. 2-point Calgary lead. Stevens to tie, and Stuckey with a rebound. Here they go, looking to run. Stroman to Smith. Nice little curl to the hoop.
You know, one thing, when you take the big guy out of there, you've got 5 guys that can do it at both ends. They can get that ball off, whether it's Perry Young, playing the center spot, Mike Flory, whoever it happens to be.
21-19 Calgary. The Storm a game under 500. The 88's 7-5 with 11 of their first 12 on the road. It's the first of a 9-game homestand. And off the miss by Carlos, the ball banged loose. Out of bounds it goes. They'll give the ball to the Saskatchewan Storm. Canada has accepted the World Basketball League very nicely.
Well, absolutely sensational. You've got Halifax, expansion team. They're doing well. Saskatchewan, terrific. This franchise got a nice crowd here tonight. Opened up their opening game, I believe, with about 4,500, and they're going to have more than that here tonight.
Everett Stevens on a nice little running half hook. 21-21 a tie. First quarter, 3:21 to play here until the end of the first period. Stroman on the cut. Kelsey Weems down the boulevard. 23-21 Calgary. Look at Johnson follow up the interference. Back to Conley. Well, the ball doesn't seem to be bothering a lot of these fellows in the early go for a 3 and a 1-point lead for the Storm. Clark. Flory can't get it. Stuckey can. He's a good board man. Nice little move. 25-24. Calgary with a lead. Missed by Everett Stevens. Rebound and outlet to Carlos Clark. That's a sloppy pass, trying to go to the corner to Steve Smith. And that's good. And going to the line will be little Jerry Johnson.
I'll tell you, he's got jets. He reminds me a lot of Jimmy Less, who was also a Naismith Award winner a couple of years ago.
Johnson's a young man I saw play in Orlando a couple of years ago. He has made it big in the WBL.
If you want to save up to an extra $1,000 or more when buying your next car, truck, or van, listen carefully. You can save like thousands of people by calling the Carputer Auto Price Hotline at 1-900-226-6100.
Carputer, may I help you?
For over 25 years, Carputer has been providing confidential information to car buyers who want to save a lot of money. You get hard-to-find information instantly over the phone. Just tell your Carputer counselor the car, truck, or van you want to buy, foreign or domestic. They will tell you what the dealer paid the factory, the actual factory invoice. This is insider information. It will help you get the best deal possible. Hey, if you don't want to save money, that's your business. But if you do, call 1-900-226-6100 because that's our business. That's 1-900-226-6100. Save money. Call now. Just $2 a minute.
Help
right, now offense will run number 1 regular one more time. One more time on number 1, and then we're going to finish the quarter in a 2-set. Jerry, I want you watching the clock. If we get down below 24 seconds, we're going to run 13. If you get a 2-for-1 situation, take it. Anything inside of 37 seconds is 2-for-1. Anything inside of 37 is 2-for-1. All right? We take an early shot, try to get back. If we're going 2-for-1, you got to recover the defensive. Get down inside of 24, then we'll run 13. All right. We got 31-32 on defense, number 1 on offense. Let's go. Here we go.
Mike Riley covers a lot of ground during those timeouts, doesn't he?
Oh, he did a great job. He basically wanted to give them one defensive maneuver and one offensive maneuver. My gosh, I think I know. I went to college with that guy.
He got his degree. How'd you do?
I didn't get it. I don't think I got the same place. I think that was a master's degree where I met him.
Those are duck noses, some kind of a promotion, and Kevin Duckworth is nowhere in sight. 26-25 is the score of our game. Saskatchewan with the lead. Jerry Johnson at the line. Both these teams out of the Northern Division, a 2-division league, with Youngstown leading the North and Nashville, a 7-5 record, leading the South. Very young. This is George Jackson, just back from the Soviet Union, where he led the league in scoring over there. Fleury on the loose ball, pick up on the flyaway. And a big lead-out pass that time to Mario Donaldson, who's the WBL slam dunk champ a year ago. He can get up there. Stuckey on Fleury. And a foul called on the play. Fleury actually is doing a pretty good job so far.
No, he's done a nice job. And Mike Riley told me before the game, he said he's a guy that's just a banger. He doesn't have the world's greatest athletic ability, but he just plays hard. He plays the same way that he did when he's playing at Marquette University.
That's the 5th team foul, so both teams now are in the bonus situation. Donaldson.
You know, as good a dunker as he is, he won at the All-Star game last year. Willie Bland missed one that was the greatest attempt that I've ever seen. Willie is you have to go back to Dr. J to see somebody that dunks it as good as Willie Bland.
Willie plays for Youngstown, 29-27. The Storm with 1:58 to play here in the first quarter. Inside to Jerry Johnson, backhanded. He saw the defense coming to his right, turned around in midair, and protected the ball with a body and reversed it in with the right hand. Can you believe that? 31-27. The Storm. And trying to save before going out of bounds in the far side. Unable to do so, Steve Smith. Willie Bland, erroneously, I said, with Youngstown. He used to be. He's with Halifax. And, you know, you speak of Halifax. How about the attendance that they're averaging there? They've done a terrific job. They lead the league in average attendance.
They started out opening night about 10,000 people, and they just continue to do a very good job.
Corey inside. And a traveling violation in the hole. And Carlos Valentine. Carlton Valentine was the man that traveled with the ball. He is 6'4" from Michigan State.
Mike Riley made a nice pickup when he got Valentine from Youngstown. He's going to help them a lot.
Kerry Young on the drive, on the miss. Outlet Johnson, Johnson to Conley. Lob lead feed, and there it is. Beautifully done, Mario Donaldson. 33-27, the Storm by that many with a minute to play in the first quarter. Stuckey. Kelby Stuckey averaging close to 12 a game, 33-29. Saskatchewan Fleury. And the left-hander hit a 2. And it's 35-29 with 45 seconds to play here in the first.
I'll tell you, Eddie, this is a game right now. They're programmed to go out at about 130, 135 points.
Well, they gave him that on the continuation. Fleury on the foul. Stuckey will go to the line.
Stuckey's got one shot to complete the three-point play.
Well, let the fans at home be the judge there, be the referee there.
35-31, the Storm. Johnson got in the lane a little quickly. You can play his own defense, incidentally, in this game. That's another rule. Unlike some of the other professional basketball leagues. Jerry Johnson on the miss, ball loose, and out of there with it. Jimmy Thomas out ahead on the trail. Stuckey again. Nice play by Steve Smith. And a 35-33 Storm lead. Final 10 seconds coming up here in the first quarter. Stuckey with 10, doing a big job for Calgary. And they worked for the final shot, and it didn't go. But Saskatchewan, after one, a 2-point lead after they led by as many as 6. At the end of the first quarter here in Calgary, it's 35-33 on Sports Channel America.
People who drink Minute Maid orange soda aspire to great heights. The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
Let me have one of those delicious potato chips, huh? Eagle. They're the best. What a name, huh? Eagle. Eagle means the best. I've got the perfect motto for the company, too.
What is it?
Aquila non capit moscas. That's Latin.
What does it mean?
The eagle does not catch flies.
I got one, too. Tutto è finito.
What does that mean?
They're gonna fire us. Eagle snacks. Everyone loves them.
Power buying saves. Save at Far More.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Far More store. At Far More, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Far More power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Far More.
Shop the Far More not far from you.
Every week, TV Guide pulls together everything that's going on TV. Then we lay it all out to help you decide what's best for you and your family. This week highlights 7 days' worth of top-flight programming. Daily guidelines alert you to each day's best bets. And our close-ups give you concise, in-depth background on noteworthy shows. So week in, week out, when you want to know what's really worth watching on television, what's really worth reading is TV Guide. Kick it out.
The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
These teams have met twice already, split. Calgary winning 117-106. And then on the 24th of May, Saskatchewan 104-98, a winner. Stroman had 28 and 26 to lead the Calgary team in those 2 games. All set to go. We've played one. It's 35-33, the Saskatchewan Storm. Stroman is in along with Perry Young, Stuckey, Chip England, and Jimmy Thomas for the Calgary 88's. Jeff D. Conley, Mike Flory, Mario Donaldson, along with Valentine and Johnson. And they're going to give the ball back to the Storm. Now watch when they get the ball to Johnson. Calgary's trying to overplay him, force him to use his left hand. Let's see if it works. There he is. See how they shade him on the right hip?
Yeah, they certainly do. Eddie, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Johnson and Jeff D. Conley both played 40 minutes tonight. They did the other night against Memphis, and I think Mike Riley will go about the same way.
Glory showing a shooting prowess here tonight. It's 37-33. Saskatchewan with a lead of 4. Just underway, second quarter action. And Conley knocks it away. It was off of Stuckey. Stuckey had 10, England had 12 to lead Calgary. Jerry Johnson with an acrobatic move. Perry Young with a save.
Excuse me, I love that rule that the referees did not handle the ball in the backcourt. That really speeds the game up.
Thomas, you saw it there. That's the way they play it in the international rules. And this is truly becoming an international game. Donaldson, we'll talk about that a little bit with European teams becoming part of the schedule. Here's Flory. And Stuckey with a rebound. How about the European teams that are coming over here to play?
Well, you're going to have You have Germany, you're going to have Red Star Belgrade, Spain, and then the Canadian national team starts playing tonight against Memphis. So that's four international teams, and of course it helps them as well as helping the WBL. And of course, in the winter, the WBL All-Star Touring teams go all over Europe and have an overwhelming advantage against all the clubs in Europe.
They played 30 international teams in 1990. 30 games against international teams. And the international teams with one little advantage, and that is you can have men 6'5" and over playing for them, whereas these teams play 6'5" and under. A lot of those international teams with the jumbo, 6'11", etc. Up quickly to Donaldson. And foul by Jim Thomas. Score a pair. He'll go to the line for a 3. 37-33. Or make it 39-33 now. Saskatchewan with a chance to lengthen it.
Well, here's the situation right here. Mario Donaldson has not really wanted to come off the bench. Johnson had moved ahead of him, but Mike said if we can just convince him, you know, just to come in, give us the lift, we're really going to have a ball club, and he's the key guy in the backcourt.
Donaldson 6'4" from Drake, and he gets them a 7-point lead, the biggest lead by either team so far. Off the bench player was a #1 pick a year ago. Stroman. Block shot, that's Valentine. And losing the handle, Calgary gets it back. Donaldson trying to recover his call for the foul.
And also, Eddie, the Saskatchewan team has two of their best players not playing. Brian Pollard, who I mentioned before, will join them tomorrow, and Donald Petty should be ready to play. He was out running before the ball game, so that's two very, very fine forwards, and they're going to have 10 good players.
Flory just picked up that foul. If you're wondering what about foul problems, well, you can't foul out in the league. However, if you go over the foul limit on the 7th foul that you would commit, the other team would get their foul shot plus retention of the ball. You don't foul out of this league. You just pay a penalty by giving the other team the ball back after they shoot their free throws. 40-34. A 6-point Saskatchewan lead. Conley inside trying to go to Donaldson, and he's tied up by England, and they're trying to post up England. Is that a good move? Is England known for some defensive deficiencies?
Well, you know, people say this about anybody that's a great scorer, but he's going to foul him. Donaldson's got position right here on him, so Chip is just going to really foul him long before that. So they just took the ball out on the side.
Everett Stevens with a two-man game down to Valentine. Oh, nice little half hook going toward the baseline against Perry Young. Saskatchewan 42-34 lead. 7:42 till halftime. Jimmy Thomas with an up fake. Double clutches. And Johnny Carson, who just came in the ball game, could not hang on to the loose ball. Carson, quite a star here in Canada at Brandon College. Second year in the league. And the missed shot, and Stevens will bring it over. 8 seconds again to get it over the timeline. Jeffy Conley missing the 3, and Carson couldn't get the rebound. Out ahead to Stroman. Boy, you got to have an assortment of shots in this game that Spike Lee would even love. 42-34 Saskatchewan.
Well, right now it's interesting to see Calgary has got basically, in fact, they do have their complete starting lineup. Roger Lyons wanted to make that change before they got down too far. Now here comes Jeffy Conley's coming out for his first rest. Dudley Bradley replacing him.
Donaldson on England. Off the inbound, they shoot it right off the catch, and he misses it. 42-34 by 8. Big lead of the game. Saskatchewan sloppy with the ball. Get it back and then throw it away. Valentine throw the ball away. Carlos Clark bumped on the way down the lane. And he'll go to the line. His team trailing it by 8. Roger Lyons trying to get them to pick it up a little bit. But has not been successful so far.
You know, Roger the last 2 years has been nominated to be the head coach of the of the touring teams, and that's quite an honor and quite an experience to take some very good players, take some all-star players from the WBL and go over to Europe and play against all the great teams in Europe. You know, Steve Earhart has a philosophy, and I think it's a great one. The NBA, they're the heavyweights, the super heavyweights, whatever you want to call them. We want to be the middleweight champions and be able to beat anybody else in the world, and the WBL has shown so far they can do that.
So the middleweights are slugging it out here in Calgary tonight. 42-35 score of the game with 6:40 to play in the half. Saskatchewan the lead in the ball. Tough shot off the turnaround by Mario Donaldson, and out of bounds it'll go. And quickly, by international rules, you pick it up, go to the side, inbound the ball, and you're on your own. Don Englund on the post up. Bang from behind by Donaldson. Picked up loose by Stevens. Gets to the middle on the fly. Valentine.
Now that's something you don't see very often, is Carlton Valentine taking a shot that far out. He basically is about a 6 to an 8-foot shooter.
Englund on the clear rod. Got a lot of banging off the ball, and they'll call a foul inside. Saskatchewan will pick up their 4th team foul. Calgary with 2. Remember him when he played at Duke? Englund was a pretty good one, wasn't he?
Very good player. Very good player.
Well, you know he had some gray matter if he played down there. Stroman's miss. Rebound followed by Young. Will they give it to him? Yeah, we're waiting to find out whether they score the 2. They do. And with 5:57 in the half, 44-37, the Storm.
Come on, not another cooking class.
Yes. You want to join us? Tonight is the fine art of snacking.
No way. I'm just going to grab a handful of these Eagle chips and run.
You don't run while eating Eagle chips. It's snacking elevated to its highest form.
I'm elevating the chip now. Delicious. Oh, I got to have some of those Eagle honey roast nuts.
Ah, the sweet crunchiness. Why don't you stay for class?
I'm delirious. I better take some for later. Gotta go.
Hi. We're here. Hi.
When does class begin? Eagle snacks. Everyone loves them.
Defense now. Donald Petty's 22.9 points a game, 10.5 rebounds a game. Missing tonight. Bad knee. Mike Riley would love to have him in there right now. What does Mike Riley do to offset the skills of Chip Englund of Calgary? He tells us on this little interview.
They can put the numbers on the board, and of course we've played Calgary 2 times already this year, and we've been very cognizant, very aware of the fact that Chip Englund can beat you, and so we've slanted our defenses a little bit towards him, and as you've mentioned, Jerry Stroman got away from us. So what we're going to try to do is take a balanced approach to defending both those wings and try to keep both of those people under control. We don't want either one of them to have a big night on them.
Well, you know, that's the thing, Eddie. You've got 2 players, like Carlos Clark is going to get his points in the flow of the game. Perry Young the same way. But Englund and Stroman are guys that can just all of a sudden light it up and get 4 or 5 baskets in a row. Now, it's very difficult with the pace of this game. You can't really double team much. You can't take that chance because all the players can move. So you have to basically, as Mike said, just take a balanced approach. You can't double down here. You've got too many players that move around.
His reference to Stroman getting away was what we had alluded to before. That was 28 and 26 points in those first 2 games. Perry Young at the line. String music, 44-38. He makes a 3-point play. He made the 2 points before the timeout. Adds the free throw, and now 44-38 Saskatchewan lead. 5:45 to play in the first half. The Storm and Mario Donaldson. 46-38 by 8. Players seem to have taken to the new ball rather nicely. Perry Young trying to go up with it. And a foul call. This will go against Valentine.
Well, there's a situation where Perry Young just got in the deep post position. Valentine didn't do a very good job of siding him, and Perry was able to get the basketball and turn, and of course was fouled. You know, in the WBL, I've had people ask me, well, do you have much of a post-up game? Sure you do, because you've got players that in college played either that 4 spot or sometimes even the center spot, so they're used to posting up. There's a lot of players that are very strong post-up players. Carlos Clark was a good post-up player in college. Perry Young, of course, was.
Perry Young is yet to miss a free throw in this 1991 season. 46-40. Saskatchewan with a lead. That's Johnny Carson.
Yeah, there's a little 1-3-1 half-court trap that paid off. There's the three-pointer by Stroman.
Tom, you saw Stroman when he played at the University of Utah. He's a different player now, isn't he?
Well, he's a lot stronger now than he was, but they had a good team with Calvin Upshaw, Albert Springs, and Jerry Stroman, all good solid basketball players.
Valentine hits the shot, 48-42. Calgary trailing at their own home floor. Now to Young. On the give, Stroman down the boulevard. Nice little left-hand scoop, 48-44 within 4. Dudley Bradley back in. His team with a lead. Rebound by Clark with a wraparound outlet. Jimmy Thomas angling on the right side. Sidesteps Johnson. Bango.
See, the thing with Chip England, he's such a great outside shooter. They crowd him, and he does a good job of making that fake and coming up inside you.
Good lesson for a lot of young people looking out there. Use that fake. Use it effectively. England has. He's got 14. Jerry Johnson got a facial that time. Not exactly the way you want to get one, but he got one on the way up. And it's 48-46. Saskatchewan with a lead of 2. Dudley Bradley will inbound out of the right corner in front of the Calgary bench. It's the same building that the Calgary Flames of the National Hockey League play in. It's a beautiful building. Wonderful sports complex on the outside of Calgary, just off of downtown. Valentine trying to go up with it, reloads it, gets it back. And a 24-second violation is the call. Tempo picked up a little bit here by Calgary. Jimmy Thomas holding the ball. A 3.
I tell you, Eddie, that Chip can really unload that ball in a hurry. A lot of players can shoot the 3 if somebody's not on them, but he can come right off the pick and unload it right now.
He's good for about 3 3-pointers a game, but he'll take a lot more shots than that as we look at a 20-second timeout. But he will lead the league usually in most 3-points attempted. Roger Lyons talking in his huddle.
You know, when you're in a situation like this, and of course you only have 20 seconds, you can basically only give your team one thing. It can either be an offensive or a defensive move. In a normal timeout, you can get 2 things done. You can give them maybe 2 offensive moves or maybe 1 offensive move in a defensive situation, how to combat a defensive situation. Lots of times coaches, including myself when I was coaching, we sometimes try to give a team too much.
Mike Riley contesting the 24. 49-48, Calgary goes ahead after trailing pretty good. And now Saskatchewan with Johnson, Flory, Connolly, Stevenson, Bradley back on against the 88's.
I'm just wondering if that's Mike Riley or his twin brother Larry. He's got a twin brother that scouts for the Milwaukee Bucks, as Mike was a regional scout for the Bucks during the winter.
You could confuse them coming through customs here, couldn't you? Get your passports ready. Connolly on the way up, lost it. 49-48. Bradley with a steal. Seen him do that many, many times.
Yeah, we mentioned before that he has the rookie record, NBA rookie record for steals with the Indiana Pacers.
What a wonderful NBA career he had. Stroman on the miss. Perry Young bangs and saves for the rebound to Thomas. And Flory with a rebound. Bradley, incidentally, played with 7 NBA teams over his career. There he is. Brackets the shot. Good block out by Conley. Young couldn't get to it. Out of bounds it'll go. The Saskatchewan Storm here in Calgary. They have a 1-point lead, and we have a timeout.
Attention fishermen. Ask any angler about the really big catch, and he's liable to stretch things some, unless he's talking about the big catch from Saltwater Sportsman. 12 big issues on the where to and how to of better fishing. Plus, this free water-resistant Captain's Travel Bag with your paid subscription. You'll get the big story each month on boats and equipment, tackle and tactics, and trophies like these, with 12 issues going for over $35 at the newsstand, but yours now for under $19, you save $15.45. And don't forget the big gift, this handy Captain's Travel Bag. So go ahead, loosen your drag and call toll-free now to haul in the big one from Saltwater Sportsman.
To order Saltwater Sportsman and your free Captain's Travel Bag, call 1-800-238-3100. 12 issues are only $18.95, 46% off the single coffee price. Call toll-free now, 1-800-238-3100.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today.
#1 draft choice of the Indiana Pacers of the NBA in '79, and played with 7 NBA teams in 9 years, 600 NBA games.
You know, Eddie, a big thing with Dudley and his biggest weakness as a player, he was not a real strong shooter. You know, and any time, whatever league you play in, whether it's college or professional, you can go for a certain length of time and then people start to pick up on it. His brother, Charles, is now an assistant coach at BYU, also could do a lot of the, he was a good rebounder, good defender, got a lot of steals, but also had problems shooting the basketball, or he might have played for a long time. Both have great basketball builds. Oh my gosh, do we know this guy?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if he graduated with me. He's a happy fella.
They've got a nice crowd here tonight. I mean, this place seats about 19,000, so I would say they've got to be in the neighborhood of 5,000 here. A nice crowd.
Yep. Active crowd. Love their 88's. 50-49. The Saskatchewan Storm with Jeffrey Conley out of Santa Clara to inbound the ball. And Carlos Clark will allow him the inbound, try to deny it to the receiver. Just moves around, sinking off the passer. And they get the ball to Bradley. Stroman running out at him, and a nice steal here by Weems. On the drive, Flory fights. Flory's active on the boards. Weems can move too, can he?
Yeah, he's got great, the thing about Weems, he's got great acceleration, great anticipation.
Delay of game warning coming up, I believe.
Delay of game warning, Saskatchewan.
That's exactly what it was against Saskatchewan. Calgary in the initial year won 32 games. Then in '89 they won 31, lost 13, and last year were 29-17, and they've lost the title in the big series the last couple of years to Youngstown. Nice drive, little crossover move. Carlos Clark. 51-50. Calgary as they yo-yo the lead. Lost the handle on a reload. Give it to Bradley. I've always marveled how these people can just kind of spring up from a dead position and in the face of the defender and get the shot away. Fantastic ability.
That was a shot, really, I don't think Dudley wanted to take. Probably, he's not a guy that's normally going to take a three-point shot unless he's wide open, but because of the clock running down, he just had to jump up over the defender, and that time was fouled. Eddie, I've never been able to understand why that isn't a rule all over. If you get fouled in the act of shooting a three-pointer, it should be 3 shots, just like it is here in the WBL.
52-51. Calgary trailing Saskatchewan. Dudley Bradley. It's a league that claims that they're David versus David. NBA, the Goliaths versus the Goliaths. The middleweight champions is the way they like to build themselves. Weems and Kelsey Weems up on top off a high screen. And we're tied at 53 all with under 2 to play in the half. Jeffy Conley. And Dudley Bradley has one that goes in and comes out. And here comes Weems. They love to run when he's in. Stroman and a foul by Conley. Tom, you've coached in a lot of different leagues, and you coached a team in this league last year. What is the big difference aside from the size that you've noticed?
Well, I think the fact that you've got all 5 players can basically play all 5 positions. I think that makes a big difference as far as the speed of the game goes. You've got some players that obviously are better set up to play inside, but just with the teams that are on the floor right now, you've got Perry Young, who's playing their 5 spot, so to speak. Well, he can rebound it and bring it down the court. With Saskatchewan, really you've got 2 guards in there and 3 forwards. So just the style of play is going to lend itself to a lot more movement.
Saskatchewan now over the limit. So Stroman with an opportunity for a pair, couldn't do it. We're still tied at 53 all. And on the mishandle, here comes Stroman out of the fly. Weems, blocked by Flory. Reload by Weems. Out of bounds it goes. Calgary will get it back. They will have a 20-second timeout called by Calgary.
Well, there's the acceleration. Now, this is a shot probably shouldn't have been taken because Kelsey Weems drove right into traffic. Really should have been looking either to continue his dribble or dish it back out to someone else.
Well, we take a look at some of the scoring leaders in the game so far, and these are, of course, probably not too much of a surprise. Stroman, who has been leading the team in scoring for Calgary at 8. Chip England, however, with 17. Impressive there. Dudley Bradley doing a nice job with 10 for Saskatchewan. Donaldson with 9. And Valentine from Michigan State. The addition that we talked about, 6 so far here in the first half. As teams, both these teams averaging over 100 points, obviously. The Calgary team at 113 and Saskatchewan at 109.3. Fake right, go left. Weems, strong move to the basket.
Again, that was the acceleration, Eddie. He just put the ball down, went right to the basket. With that particular move, he reminds me a lot of Andre Turner.
He played with Tom's Memphis team a year ago and is now in the NBA. Knocked away and out of bounds. The officials holding the play, the players going by the rules, picking it up and trying to get it rolling, and the play was stopped by the officials. And Mike Riley not real happy about that. He's looking over here saying, what the heck you doing? 55 to 53 is the score of the ball game. Calgary with the lead.
Stay down, stay down, stay down. 23, hold the feet. 23.
Mario Donaldson on a foul. Jerry Johnson injured momentarily on the far side. (55-53) is the score of the basketball game.
Watch the touch now. Chip England, when he shoots the ball, just a very, very slight backward rotation. He just has a tremendous shooting touch, can get the ball off in a hurry also, of course, which makes him a tremendous scorer.
He's the #1 free throw shooter in the World Basketball League, 95%. That's an incredible number. 57 to 53. Calgary with the lead. They trailed pretty good at one point. And now come back. They're down by as many as 9, lead by 4, under a minute to play in the half.
You know, it seems that Saskatchewan has lost a little bit of tempo. They're not looking to Jerry Johnson to handle it as much. Also, Calgary's put on a little more defensive pressure.
Jerry Johnson, give to Flory, got too far under. Clock ticking away. Perry Young with the ball. His team with a lead of 4. And halftime just around the corner. Tom will have a couple of interviews. We'll have stats and highlights. Hope you'll stay with us. And that's a 3 for Kelsey Weems. 20 seconds in the half by 7 Calgary. How this game is turned around. Of course, the one-man deficiency of the Storm, Donald Petty's, is not helping them now. Players having to put in a little bit more time. Off the miss by Johnson. Young. Weems tries to save, jumps over the scoring table. And what an acrobatic move he made to prevent injury.
And Eddie, that would have counted in the WBL. You can shoot the ball from behind the backboard, and if it goes in, that's 2.
They're diving all over the place here tonight. 60-53. Carlos Clark. Some young lady got a good up close and personal look at Carlos right there. And Bradley at the horn on the miss. And so a turnaround. Saskatchewan looked like they ran out of a little juice, and Calgary picked it up and have gone to the 4 by 7. Tom, an interesting turnabout.
Well, I think it was just defensive pressure by Calgary that made the difference. They really took Saskatchewan out of what they wanted to run. In the first quarter, Saskatchewan was in a situation they were doing about what they wanted to do offensively. They're getting the ball to Jerry Johnson. They were penetrating with it, kicking out if they didn't have the penetration. In the second quarter, they basically got out of their offense.
All right, Tom, we invite all of our viewers to stay with us, with Tom going to talk with Jeffy Conley very shortly. At halftime, Calgary 60, Saskatchewan 53, as the WBL takes the Sports Channel airwaves by storm.
John Riggins with 10 reasons why it's time to order Field & Stream now.
One good reason is this tough water-resistant duffel bag. It's one of 2 free gifts with your paid subscription. And here are 9 more reasons. Field & Stream shows you how to get more out of fishing and hunting, thanks to the best outdoor writers in print. And right now, you can save plenty.
15 issues are just $14.97. That's almost 50% off the single copy price. You save over $14.
So call 1-800.
You said 2 free gifts.
Okay, they'll give you the duffel bag plus a surprise gift.
A surprise? Like the 83 Super Bowl?
You got it.
To order Field & Stream and get your free duffel bag plus the surprise gift, call toll-free 1-800-8410-300. 15 issues for just $14.97. Save almost 50% off the $1.95 cover price, 25% off the basic subscription rate. Ask about our extended savings as well. This double gift offer is only available on television, so call now, 1-800-841-0300.
Watched what I ate, worked out on my Easy Glider, and lost 75 pounds.
This is actual footage of Keith's home video showing his dramatic weight loss. All across America, people have found that 20 minutes every other day works to firm all major muscle groups and helps to lose weight aerobically.
I'm using my arms, my shoulder, my back, my tummy, my thighs, my legs. I get it all.
Dual resistance allows you to adjust tension for both legs and upper body.
I have tried bikes, jogging, even racquetball, and Easy Glider is definitely the best.
And this handsome unit folds down quickly for easy storage.
Call toll-free like I did to shape up and to slim down with Easy Glider.
Call toll-free 1-800-238-3100. We'll bill your credit card 3 easy payments of $19.95 each. You get a full 60-day home trial with a money-back guarantee. The total price, $59.85 plus $9 shipping and handling. Call now, 1-800-238-3100.
It's halftime. The WBL on Sports Channel America. And at halftime from Calgary in the Saddle Dome, it's the Calgary 88's 60 and the Saskatchewan Storm 53. Jeffy Conley was the man that everybody was zeroing in on this one for Saskatchewan. You knew that their #1 scorer, Donald Petty's, would not be available, so Conley got the call. So far in the first half, 7 points. He is with Tom Nisolke. Tom?
Jeffy, let's talk a little bit about the first half. Now, in the first quarter, you guys were getting the ball to Jerry Johnson. He's getting it down the court. You're getting right into your offense. In fact, maybe your early offense. Second half, it seemed to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, we started out with a good tempo on offense, and things were running smooth, and the second quarter just broke down, and people were standing around and working back on defense.
What about now with Jerry? Normally, when he's in there, you try to get it to him if at all possible, or whoever's the closest guy.
Well, he brings it up the court, so basically he does what he wants with it, and hope kicks it out or drives to the bucket or gets us into our offense.
All right, now what about, you've got Donald Petty's out tonight. Obviously, that hurts you. That makes you a little short-handed. Let's talk a little bit about when Petty's comes back, and then when you get Brian Pollard tomorrow. I don't think he'll be able to play for you tomorrow. What kind of difference will they make to your ball club?
They'll be a big impact. Last year, they were both all-stars. Got nothing but help this team. John's already had a good season so far, and we're looking forward to having him back.
How about you? Now, it seemed to me, I remember you playing in college. I didn't think you're as good a player as you are. You kind of just came out of nowhere last year, and now this year you picked up where you left off.
Yeah, I've been improving as the years go by, and hopefully I can keep doing that, and maybe success will follow.
Do you hit the weights in the off season? Looks like you're a little bit bigger and stronger than you were last summer.
Yeah, I spent the month of March in Hawaii with my mother, and I hit the weights about every day there.
Okay, well, good luck in the second half, Jeffy.
Okay.
Okay, Ed, it's back to you.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Halftime, 60-53. The score, Calgary with the lead. Roger Lyons is their coach. We'll visit with Tom Nasalki when we return. We'll pause right now for a regional break. You're watching the World Basketball League on Sports Channel America. From
our air conditioning? Not a day of trouble ever.
Must be a good one.
Must be a Lennox.
Must be.
Ask one of these dealers about an energy-saving Lennox home comfort system.
A 20-year Lennox investment deserves reliable workmanship. Let Iron Fireman save you 35% or more. For Iron Fireman service on the west side, call Don.
For Iron Fireman service on the east side, call Frank.
Attaboy, Dave.
World Championship Wrestling presents Super Summer Sizzler Tour 91 at the Mecca in Milwaukee, Saturday night, June 8th, 8 o'clock start. The special attraction, TN News debuts his new rap single. The main event that Saturday night, a U.S. heavyweight title match. Max Luger against the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff. Other stars tonight should include the Young Pistols and the Fabulous Freebirds. That's Saturday, June 8th, 8 o'clock at the Mecca in Milwaukee.
Now, we're not in Anaheim or Orlando. This is not Disneyland. This is Calgary. And the home, the Saddle Dome. Calgary 88's basketball, Calgary Flames hockey. Quite a facility here. And, of course, the World Basketball League. Trying to show all up here what they've got. Roger Lyons is the coach at Calgary. He visited with Tom a little bit earlier.
Roger, last year you went to the finals against Youngstown. You've played them twice now in the last 10 days. How do you compare their ball club and your club at the start of this season?
Well, of course, they've got a very good team because they're very deep. They've added guys like Willie Glass and some players along that line, Richard Massey, and those guys are very good basketball players. So we know that they're going to have a quality team. Right now, they're in a little bit of a situation with Fred Cofield hurt. But at the same time, they're deep enough where when they get the chemistry together and they flow a little bit, I'm sure that they'll be right there in the hunt for the championship.
Well, what about your club? Now, you've got a veteran team. Your franchise has done a great job of keeping a strong nucleus of players.
We're very proud of the guys that are four-year 88s. Chip England, Carlos Clark, guys like that are the real foundation of what our franchise is about. And of course, they've selected to come back to Calgary for 4 consecutive years. So we're very happy they're here because they're quality people and quality basketball players. We have a veteran club, a little bit older club, which sometimes is a little bit of a problem for us. But at the same time, I like that experience out on the floor because I know those guys every night know what it is to play pro basketball, and they know what it is to come to the arena and be ready to play. And as a result, I think we've got a chance to win with those guys.
Because the players that you mentioned are really solid people. Do you ask them ever, about the possibility you're going to bring in a new player? Do you ever talk to them? How do they think the player is going to fit in?
No question about it. I don't make any player moves unless I consult some of the guys who are with our ball club because they know the players around the league. They know the players that are playing pro basketball, and they have a fair assessment on what we need at that particular spot. So anytime we make a move, we make sure that we go to our veterans and make sure that the guy coming in will fit in and be compatible to what we're trying to do.
How have you seen the league change now since you've been in it? It seems to be probably better balanced this year than it's ever been, really.
Well, I think that's one of the great things about the WBL. We're expanding. We've got teams coming in, and they're competitive teams. You take the Halifax Ball Club. They're a very good basketball team right now. Last year, the Saskatoon team was very good. Nashville's a very competitive team. So we're bringing in teams, and they're not teams that everybody's going to beat up on. They're teams that are going to come in and be very competitive, and I think that's very good for the WBL. We're in a situation here in Calgary where we know our franchise is very stable, and we know that we're in a situation where we've got the good vets. But the other teams are coming in, they're putting together good rosters, and that makes for a great league.
Roger, one more question. Who's the best player you've ever seen in the league, and why?
Well, I think the best player that I've seen in the league is the guy that plays for us here, Carlos Clark. Two reasons. One, he comes to play every night. His performance is very consistent. And two, he can do so many things. There's so many different facets of his game. So when you talk about a great player, there's guys that jump higher, there's guys that run faster, but to me, the best player in this league that I've seen is Carlos Clark.
Roger, thanks a lot, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Tom, thank you. Halftime 60-53, Calgary. When we come back, highlights, stats, and more as the WBL continues from Calgary.
Oh, drat. The ball seems to be curving today.
Almost.
Croquet? No way.
A heart. Heart? 2 clubs. A 2 no trump.
Bridge?
What's the name of this game?
Pass. Badminton? You gotta be kidding. With its big orange taste, Minute Maid Orange Soda could only be the official soft drink of the NBA.
Take it from the MVP. Thank you very much. The MVP.
Power buying saves. Save at Far More.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Far More store. At Far More, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Far More power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Far More.
Shop the Far More not far from you.
Hi. Take your feet off the table. Now, here's your bag of Eagle potato chips. Here's my bag of Eagle potato chips. Now, we're going to open them. Not like an animal. Watch me. I open it easily. I remove one chip. Now, I taste it. Mmm. Mmm. The quintessence of taste and crunchiness. Go ahead.
Eagle potato chips, everyone loves them.
When you're reaching for the refreshing, one-of-a-kind taste that's out of this world, you can't beat the real thing.
And welcome back to the Saddle Dome at halftime. It's 60-53. That's the score of our game. Calgary, after trailing by, at one point, as many as 9, have come back here, and they've taken the lead. They just kind of wore them down. Eddie Doucette, Tom Nisalki, and Tom, I think that probably the strategy of Roger Lyons that he talked about before the game, using defense at the right time, just kind of wore the Saskatchewan team down, a thin team because of injuries.
Yeah, I think it did, Eddie. I think also they went into a half-court trap a couple of times, and the times that they did it, 2 of the 3 times that they did it, they got the ball either through an interception or a deflection, something of that nature.
Well, you really have to give Saskatchewan a lot of credit. They came roaring out of the blocks, got out to a nice lead early, held it most of the way. As we go back and look at some of the action here in the first quarter, little Jerry Johnson getting the ball out ahead, create a 2-on-1 situation. Look at here.
Oh, yeah, there's a nice timing pattern right there. Jeffrey Conley to Mario Donaldson for the dunk, the WBL dunking champion.
At the other end, you've got Calgary playing with that ball, that WBL ball. And Stuckey, who had a real good first quarter, 10 points. Here's 2 of them.
Well, you knew that Smith was talking to him. Smith was getting talked to by Stuckey. Stuckey was saying, I'm right behind you for the dunk. There's Chip England now. They came out on him, tried to get him to put the ball down on the floor. He made a nice fake, came up under the defender, and got the basket.
He had 19 points in the first half. We'll pause right now for a regional break. You're watching the World Basketball League. on Sports Channel America. Coming to you tonight.
Marvel Recordings, along with Tough T, proudly presents the Concert of the Year, featuring EPMD, DJ Quick, Father MC, Chub Rock, and Gangstar. Thursday, June 6th at the Mecca Auditorium. Tickets on sale right now at all Ticketron outlets, Sears, and the Mecca box office. That's EPMD, DJ Quick, Father MC, Chub Rock, and Gangstar. Thursday, June 6th, tickets on sale right now. Don't get kicked to the curb. If you didn't know, hello, get your tickets today.
Hey, Milwaukee, you can win $500,000 or more. Just play TV Bingo Oneida. You'll have 5 chances to win, plus a shot at the $500,000 jackpot each Sunday morning on TV6.
To play at home, just order your TV Bingo cards. Call us at 1-800-238-4263.
Cards are just $2, so play as many as you'd like.
To win the biggest jackpot on TV, call right now.
That's TV Bingo Oneida, Sunday mornings at 10 on TV6.
Saskatchewan at halftime, 50% from the floor. Calgary, about 45% playing catch-up. Saskatchewan, a good free throw shooting team. We told you about that. About 88% when you round them. Calgary, not as good, getting more attempts, 68%. On the rebounds, however, Calgary took advantage of the board work. They go on top, 20-15 there. And the turnovers, 11-10, one you don't brag about if you're Calgary. In the leading scorer department, Calgary, 19 points out of Chip England. Bradley leads the way for Saskatchewan with 10. Stroman with 8, Stuckey with 10 for Calgary, and Donaldson with 9, and Everett Stevens with 8 for the Saskatchewan Storm. So the halftime complete. The teams are ready to go. We're back here at the Saddle Dome. Magnificent building. This is one of the bigger buildings in the WBL, Tom?
Yes, it is. It's, unfortunately, it's set up really for hockey where they get that 19.5, but this is a very, very good crowd, but they're scattered over this huge building, and I think we're going to come out with paid attendance in 5,000 or 6,000 range.
Roger Lyons.
Half court, see what they can do. Go, man. Let's go, baby.
During all of his timeouts that we have listened to, he made a special point of talking about defense, and that is in keeping with what he discussed with us prior to the start of this one. That is trying to change the idea, the basic concept of what the Calgary 88's were built on a few years back, and that is run, run, run. He still feels that the name of the game to win is defense, and so he's trying to work more and more of that in.
Well, he played at Ashland College under Bill Musselman, who was a great defensive coach, and also coached at Ashland College, and they've always had the tradition of the good, solid defense, and defense is something that's going to be a constant for you every night.
60-53 is the score of the game. Calgary wins the tip. They go the other way. At the start of each quarter, they have a jump ball. You don't see that in the NBA. And on that little pull-up out of the corner, Calgary adds a pair, and they lead it now 62-53. That was Jimmy Thomas's first 2 points of the ball game. Started out with Everett Stevens, along with Dudley Bradley, Mike Flory, Jeff D. Conley, and Jerry Johnson for the Storm. Here's Perry Young trying to wheel one inside to Carlos Clark. Jim Thomas in there, and a steal by Jerry Johnson, and he'll take it in with an easy layup. So it's 62-55. Calgary with a lead just underway here in the third.
Watch the stagger!
Well, it's going to be interesting now to see if Saskatchewan comes out, tries to run their break, get in their offense a little bit quicker. They really were taken out of what they wanted to do in that second quarter.
Chanted for Young, knocked away. Stevens had it. Young bangs the ball again, and a foul called on Everett Stevens. Everett 6'3", number 2 pick of Philadelphia back in '88 from Purdue. It's his first year in the WBL. 62-55. The Calgary 88's with the lead. Lots of folks that follow this league think that now that Calgary's home after that real rough first month on the road can fatten up their record and really challenge for the title again this year.
Well, Eddie, with 9 in a row at home, they could get off to such a good start now here in the first third of the season that nobody else will be able to catch them. Youngstown now has been beaten a couple of times at home. That normally doesn't happen.
And also beaten twice so far by Calgary. Bradley, incidentally, made that last 2-pointer right at the 24-second buzzer. 62-57. Calgary with the lead. Carlos Clark out of bounds it'll go. Pick it up. And if you're ready, let it rip.
Keep playing.
You heard Mike Riley in the background. Keep playing, keep playing. Encouraging his team defensively, not the 88's on the offensive end. Stroman missed the three. Flory with a rebound. And a foul called on the play.
Eddie, after a guy has played professional basketball for about a year, they really get good at that continuation. Now, you see, Conley, when he comes in the break, I mean, he carries it all the way out, and that's how you get that 2 shots.
He's done a nice job of containing Conley. Remember, he was averaging 20.5 points a game coming in. And he had to pick it up where Donald Petty's normally would get all the scoring, but he was 2 for 6 from the floor in the first half.
But when Petty's and Pollard are playing, they really go inside to them a lot. They build their attack inside out, whereas without those two, it's a little bit different.
And without Petty's, you lose a lot of rebounding also, and Calgary dominated the boards in the first half.
Calgary basket, number 34, Perry Young, fouls on Saskatchewan, 0-0, Michael Flory, his third, team's first.
Perry Young now is another player as he's gotten a little bit more mature. I remember when he came out of college and was drafted by Portland, he was not quite as strong. Now he's found a home in the WBL. He's one of their fine players and has really become an inside, a deep post guy. He can do some things on the outside, but he likes to post up for the most part.
I had made a note that he was a good rebounder. I guess he had 9 in the first half. Conley fighting for rebound position. There he is again, Perry Young. 64-58 Calgary. They have the ball. That's Chip England. Open man, Jimmy Thomas. A running one-hander on the rack. Foul by Conley. That would have been good had it gone. It did not, but he'll go to the line for a pair.
You won't see Jim Thomas shoot the ball too much. He's out there basically as a floor leader. He's a very smart player. He's always played well on the European tours. Is one of the key players that goes to Europe with the WBL All-Stars. But with this team, when you've got Clark, you've got Chip England, he's not going to get the shots that he might with another ball club.
This team now 66-58 a lead. Jerry Johnson brings it down. You mentioned European players. See where Dayton has added Claudio Caldebella from Italy to play with their team. He's a world-class soccer player and a fine basketball talent as well. They're adding players and giving it a true international flair. And on a save attempt by Jeff D. Conley. Foul called on the play, and Flory will go to the line.
Well, Dayton, you mentioned Dayton. They also signed Eddie Hughes, who's a good, solid veteran point guard. He'll help Dayton a great deal. Nashville just signed Jay Taylor yesterday, who's a very good scorer, and they're in need of a guard. So they've helped themselves a lot.
66-61. Calgary with the lead. They have the ball. Jimmy Thomas. Thomas shooting the ball a couple times here in the second half. Under 7 to play in the third. Conley in the middle, looks right, then left, then comes back to Stevens. Uses the Conley screen, rims and out. Jimmy Thomas has got it. Here they go. They have a one-man advantage. England. Oh, boy, what a touch, huh?
That's right. And the thing is the way he unloads it. That's what I like. He can really get rid of that ball in a hurry. He doesn't have to be out there with no one on him. Even if someone is on him, he can still get the shot.
69-61. Remember a little player that came out of the ACC several years ago by the name of Bob Verga?
Oh, Bobby Verga. Yeah.
He could shoot it, couldn't he?
Yeah, he'd love to shoot that 3 in the old ABA.
He could probably play in this league if he were around 20 years
he'd
later.
love it. He would love it. I don't know how the guys that love playing with him. he let it go all the time.
Here's Jeff D. And on the drive, 69-63. Calgary with the lead. They have the ball. That's Jerry Stroman, the rookie from Utah. You see a lot of backdoor reverse plays. 71-63 now. The Calgary 88's at home leading Saskatchewan. Everett Stevens. Bradley bump, won't count, fouled on the play. Calgary with their 4th team foul. We'll take a timeout. Timeout. as the World Basketball League takes a break on Sports Channel America with 5:50 to play in the third. The 80.
Tap the power.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Farmore store. At Farmore, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Farmore power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Farmore.
Shop the Farmore not far from you.
You know, here we've got Roger Lyons in a timeout. You know, Eddie, one thing about timeouts, you've got to gear whatever you say to the slowest player, so to speak. In other words, if you've got one player, if you've got four guys that are terrific basketball minds, you've got one guy that maybe isn't quite as good, you have to gear everything you say to that player, because if one guy makes a mistake, you can waste the efforts of all the other players. So you can only basically make give two basic concepts during a timeout.
He's the chef. He's got a veteran cooking staff with him. Carlos Clark, Chip England, George Jackson, Jimmy Thomas, and Perry Young. It's nice to know that you've got those kind of veterans who've been together that can pull that stew together and have you a real fine quality product when you lay it on the table every night.
Well, that's right, and that's why they've had the success, because they not only have good players, but they have good players with character. And Roger's done a nice job when they bring a new guy on. He better be a good person. Of course, Mike Riley's done a terrific job in putting this team together here, and they're going to be a factor when they get their two other forwards back.
5:50 in the third, 71-63 Calgary. Should they win tonight, they would draw even in their division with Idle Youngstown. Youngstown at 8-5, Calgary at 7-5. Everett Stevens, he missed it. Carlos Clark gets it and goes to Jim Thomas. That's Stroman. And he is fouled.
Stroman did a nice job there with nice head and shoulder fake. It looked like he was going to take the three. And then the defender came up on him. He gave him a nice head and shoulder fake. Went to the midpoint there in the baseline and took the shot and was fouled.
What about players coming back from Europe to play in this league, Tom? Anybody of note that's going to help some of these teams?
Well, Brian Pollard, of course, is coming back. The big thing, though, Eddie, is that any player that comes back after June 8th can only get a certain salary. In other words, you don't want to get in a situation where a team could hide somebody out and say, hey, you just wait until the last month of the season. You have to be back. And if you come back after June 8th, it's going to cost you, I think you can only make, I believe, $200 a game. So the good players that are going to come back from Europe, they basically are here with the exception of Pollard.
200 a game. Wow. 72-63 to score. Calgary with the lead. Add to Perry Young. And Jerry Johnson with a terrific spin move to get free of the defense. Dudley Bradley with a miss. Jim Thomas with a rebound. Outlet ahead, Stroman. Block shot, Dudley Bradley. But a foul called on the play. 74-63 Calgary. What did you think of that block?
Well, I've seen Dudley Bradley do that a lot. Again, that's one of his strengths. The good timing. Normally, now here we'll take a look right here.
This is Perry Young.
Well, Perry Young in this situation.
Gary Stroman with 2 shots.
Well, that's a shot because he went and dunked it. You're not going to get that one.
74-63. Normally, you were saying that he wouldn't be able to get back and cover that, or would he normally get the call on that particular?
Well, no, on the one with Stroman, I mean, I've seen Dudley do that. And usually when you block a shot, you're coming off another man. You're not blocking the shot of the player that you're guarding.
Flory, nice move by Flory to go right around Perry Young.
See, that's a nice thing about the WBL. That was a 5-man making that move, rebounding and taking it all the way.
5-man being the center in layman's language. But that's, of course, 5-man is in the vernacular of the coaches, as Coach Tom Masalki has put in his time there, so you can use it. 77-65 to score the basketball game. Calgary with a lead. Jim Thomas with the ball. Calgary in white, Saskatchewan in traveling purple. Stroman
might have shuffled his feet a little bit there, Eddie.
He did the dance without the hat under him that time. Nice move. Bradley comes up short. Mario Donaldson, he traveled with the ball.
The thing is, in Bradley's situation there, when you get the ball in there that deep, you've got to finish it.
Stroman back to Perry Young. Here's the center, or the 5-man, as Tom said, taking the shot. Stuckey had it, and a foul was called on the play.
Fouls on Calgary, number 23, Jerry Stroman.
Mike Riley has his board. He looks like he wants to talk a little business here. Call a timeout. 3:56 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a pause for a regional break. You're watching the World Basketball League on Sports Channel America, live from Calgary.
Look to Melco for men's fashion this spring. Look to Melco for quality in men's clothing this spring. Look to Melco for 40% savings on all suits. Single-breasted, double-breasted, shorts, poplins, athletic cuts. All new and all at 40% savings. Melco Menswear puts together the look, the quality, and is always the best price. Now at 40% off for the best-dressed Milwaukee man. 2 locations downtown at 200 South Water and in Brookfield at 178th and Bluemont. Melco Menswear.
This week on Warner Home Theater.
Somebody in here?
I'm your new tenant. He's perfectly charming. I don't think you'll have a problem. He's perfectly good at what he does.
Look, I know you're in there. I can hear you in there. Don't let this jerk chase me out of my own property.
And what he does...
This is my business.
...is perfectly terrifying.
Mr. Hayes, is that you?
Melanie Griffith, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton. Pacific Heights, rated R.
Up the gut and get the ball right there. Now look, got to cut in on this lead a little bit during this quarter. Get it back down to 7 or 8 where it was. All right, let's go.
Well, Mike made a good coaching point there. Let's cut into the lead a little bit and get it down to about 7, because many times the team will panic a little bit. They think, hey man, we're out of it, we're down 12, and they try to get it back all at once. You don't get it done. So he said what you should say, you just try to cut it down gradually, go into that fourth quarter maybe where you're down by 5 to 7 points.
Everybody has fun here in Calgary. 77-65, Roger Lyons' team with the lead, 3:56 to play here in the third. Two teams played twice already. Season series is even at 1 each.
Eddie, when you see George Jackson now come in the ball game, think of what a cultural shock that had to have been to be the first American ever to play in the Soviet Union. I guess he did have a roommate that could speak a little bit of English, but think of what that would be like to go over there for 6 months.
Well, he did a whale of a job. He was the leading scorer in that Soviet league at 24 points a game. Just came back, takes a deep breath, he's ready to go. Mario Donaldson making the free throw. Incidentally, Calgary now over the foul limit. Saskatchewan goes over the limit on their next team foul. 3:48 to play in the third. And immediately trying to get the ball in the hands of Jackson. Jerry Johnson reaches in and commits the foul. There's little Jerry from Florida Southern. Popular guy down in mid-Florida. 3:46 to play here in the third. Here's George. How long will it take him to adjust to this style of play, do you think, Tom?
Half a day, maybe.
That's it, huh?
I think so. I mean, the guys that do the best in this league are the guys that are the natural athletes. This is a league of great natural athletes, and if you're ready to run and gun, it isn't going to take you a long time.
Jackson, a left-hander, first American player to play in an NBL of the Soviet Union, the National Basketball League. Donaldson beats Jackson off the dribble. Bradley. Boy, he created a nice play there, didn't Donaldson?
Well, and so did Bradley, Eddie, because he jumped out. He jumped out to the open spot, and Donaldson hit him with a very nice pass.
It's the veteran quality. England on the iron, chipped in by Stuckey. 81-68. Calgary with the lead. Johnson off the penetration. Got by Stuckey. Weems, what a pass. Jackson on the trail. Reverse not there. Here's Johnson under 3 to play in the third. Bradley. Man, these guys play like they got a pastry bag in their hand, the way they're weaving in midair. Perry Young. 83-70. Calgary. And Dudley Bradley, he will score the 2. He will get a chance for 3. And how the tempo is picked up. The last dunk by Perry Young was a classic.
Well, Perry Young is a strong guy, number 1. So there he goes right to the basket. And that's the thing to do, not just lay it up, but dunk it with power.
That's the way they used to be, the classic, the old-time dunks. Now, they put everything except whipped cream on them. And cherry on the top every now and then. 83-73, back to a 10-point Calgary lead on the free throws. Stuckey. Jackson, a little tentative, works against Jeff D. Conley. Throws the ball cross court, knocked away by Donaldson, picked up by Valentine.
Well, there, Eddie, Valentine looked everywhere but to his left, and George Jackson was coming up right behind him. He really didn't. I think we'll see right now. No, he doesn't really know where Jackson's coming from. Of course, there's the foul.
Jackson looks like he's suffering from a little jet lag, maybe. Back from the Soviet Union. All right, a timeout is called with 2:12 to play in the third. And so far, Calgary on top, 83-73. 10-point lead. They've got things going pretty well their way. And Tom, again, reiterating a point that I think we made validly in the first half. And as the end of the first half started to evolve and the score started to change, we got a chance to see Saskatchewan, a man short, starting to wear down.
Yeah, I think they have. When they'll get Donald Petty's back, we talked about that. That's 20 points gone. Pollard's also a 20-point guy. He's a WBL All-Star player. So you add those two to this ball club, are going to be very, very good. Of course, Roger Lyons has got a terrific team right in place, and he also has got a strong rebounder, and John Hegwood coming back.
12-point game, and now it's going to cut it under Dibble. Bullshit.
I think Roger's going to get their attention. What do you think?
He's got mine.
Steve's going to try to sprint behind you. Offensively down here, we're in a twirl game. We're not in a dribble game. Move the basketball. And if you can't
While Roger finishes his thoughts, we'll switch to the thoughts of Chip England. As we mentioned, during the offseason, they put an all-star team together, and Chip England had some specific thoughts about that tour that goes to Europe.
Well, I think the tours are important because Commissioner Earhart's really pushing the world concept, and what it does, it legitimizes us in Europe, playing against the top Italians, the Yugoslavs, the Spaniards, and it also helps the players because we come back very experienced. But I think more importantly, it gives us a global look, and I think that's how the league's looking down the road.
Indeed, it has taken on the look of truly an international game, a global game, with teams coming over from Europe and future plans to probably expand the European theater.
Eddie, last week I was in Germany doing a basketball clinic, and I saw the Russians play, and one of their players, Igor Melniks, I think that's fairly close, played in the WBL for Erie last year, and now is back playing in the Soviet Union. So we had 4 Soviet players in the WBL last summer. So that's a very nice exchange. And of course, now with Jackson going over and playing the Soviet Union this last winter.
Mel Kennedy was released. This man was signed, Carlton Valentine. Traded by Youngstown, been on 4 teams in 3 years. He's from Michigan State, and he makes it an 83-75 ball game. So the big lead has disappeared in Calgary after a tongue lashing from their coach trying to get it back. Bad entry pass by Carlton Weems, or Kelsey Weems. Valentine, and suddenly Saskatchewan has trimmed the lead to 6.
I wonder if it's playing out in the prairies there, because I've never seen Valentine hit that shot before. He's done a nice job looking for that open shot, hitting about the 12, 15-footer.
Weems inside with a bounce beat. The second time in a row that he has thrown the ball away trying to get it in deep. 2 turnovers by Weems. And now Donaldson trying a one-hand bounce beat, has it stolen away by Steve Smith. Weems. A little restitution of sorts. He gets 2 back, and it's 85-77, Calgary. Jerry Johnson trying to bogart his way through the crowd there, huh?
Well, that's what, of course, Kelsey Weems, we're talking about him. He steps the tempo up for Calgary, and of course, the little guy here does a good job of penetrating. That last time, you can maybe debate that call.
Carlos Clark will replace George Jackson. Perry Young will also go out of the lineup. Let's see who we have out there. Weems, Stuckey, Stroman, Clark, and Steve Smith on for Calgary. Bradley comes off for Saskatchewan. Jerry Johnson, Jeff D. Conley, Valentine, and for the first time tonight, Robbie Metcalf, a 6'4", 205-pound rookie from Minnesota.
This has been a very well officiated game also, Eddie. The 2 mics are doing a good job. Anytime you don't notice the officials, that's pretty good criteria for saying that they're doing a very good job.
The Storm 14 for 17 at the line. Add another, while the 88's 19 for 28. And now an 85-79 6-point Calgary lead. Kelsey Weems. Stroman with a jump hook. And the rebound and a foul called on the play, and it's called against Robbie Metcalf. It's a tough spot for the young kid from Wisconsin Rapids to come to. He's been on the bench the entire game, and of course trying to catch up with these guys on the fly. A half step late, and he gets called for the foul.
Mike Riley told me that when Metcalf came to camp, Mike didn't really expect him to make the ball club, but he just came in and started off hustling right away. And Mike likes him. Now, of course, they're going to have to let someone go here the next day or so, which will be tough because I know Coach Riley likes his ball club.
85-79. Oh boy, a couple of missed free throws. Saskatchewan catches a break. Johnson on the penetration. Metcalf can't get it. Ball loose. Out of bounds it goes. And the Storm hustle back defensively as Calgary cheats a man on the break. 85-79, under a minute in the third. Weems all the way, splits the D, foul on the play, chance for 3.
That's just, again, we've talked about that acceleration. He does a great job. He changes hands, gets to the basket. He, as you mentioned, splits the defenders, but he has great acceleration. Andre Turner had that same type of acceleration. He could be going, still is, almost from a standstill and just blow by people.
14 points for Kelsey Weems. 88-79, so the lead that had gone to 6 is back up to 9. Calgary with the lead, Metcalf with the ball. Entry to Valentine. Valentine doing a good job here. It's 88-81. Valentine with 12. Big third quarter for Valentine off the bench. Out of bounds it'll go. They'll side front the inbound. 20 on the shot clock, 36 on the game clock here in the third. Out of the corner, Stroman. Airmailed it. He needed 20. He got 22 out of it. Donaldson with a miss, followed by Conley. A big 2 follow with 21 seconds to play in the third. 88-83 within 5. Smith blocked by Donaldson. Valentine out ahead to Conley. And oh, how this lead has gone bye-bye for Calgary. Roger Lyons is going to be livid during the break. His team a lead of 3. The Storm with a steal. Tap it ahead with 1 second remaining. Oh! And Jerry Johnson with a chance to put his club to a tie. Wow. What a third to come back by Saskatchewan. After 3, 88-85, Calgary.
Let me have one of those delicious potato chips, huh? Eagle. They're the best. What a name, huh? Eagle. Eagle means the best. I've got the perfect motto for the company, too.
What is that?
Aquila non capit moscas. That's Latin.
What does it mean?
The eagle does not catch flies.
I got one, too. Tutto è finito.
What does that mean?
They're gonna fire us. Eagle snacks. Everyone loves them.
Yeah.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that light that takes your breath away? That's a taste of real refreshment. That's the real love Diet Coke. That's a taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke. Power buying saves. Save at Farmore.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Farmore store. At Farmore, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Farmore power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Farmore.
Shop the Farmore not far from you.
Mike Riley, the coach of the visiting Saskatchewan Storm. His team has come back from double digits down to within 3, and we're going to the 4th quarter. Last night in the WBL, take a look at some of the scores. Halifax with a win over Yugoslavia, one of the international entries, 99-73. Florida by 2 over Erie at 131-28. And Dayton beats Youngstown 108-88. Tonight, only one other game being played, and that's Memphis at the Canadian national team. There's Roger Lyons. He can't be too pleased. I look for him to try and push the ball against a man-shortened Saskatchewan team in the 4th.
Well, he's left Kelsey Weems in there, so you know that they're going to be looking to run that break. Weems is really his fast break leader.
And Calgary off to snap. England with a shot. He has 4 threes so far here tonight to go along with the 22-point total. Stroman with a miss. Jeff D. Conley on the outlet. Donaldson, no look. Conley on the way down the lane. Good give back pass that time by Mario Donaldson. A 1-point Calgary lead. England to Young. Foul by Valentine. Perry Young will go to the line on a design set play off the post up.
Carlton Valentine's been a key player here now. Young tries to post him up. Valentine does. There's his hands on him, does make the foul, but he's done a terrific job since he's been in the ball game.
Valentine with 12 time to reinforce your point.
Well, he's always been a strong rebounder and a pretty good defender, but I haven't seen him hit the open shot as well as he's hit it here tonight.
Perry Young with 12 points. So far, not much problem handling that basketball.
No, I think, Eddie, again, this just happened to be a new ball tonight. In most instances, you'll have an opportunity to use the ball for a couple days, but after a couple minutes, there's been no problem whatsoever.
Foul called. Saskatchewan trying to get it going. Perry Young on the foul. Remember, no one fouls out of the game. Now, let's take a look at Perry Young with his 4th. On the 7th personal foul, you go into the rule, and Tom, you might explain what that rule is.
Well, then the foul player gets to shoot, then the ball is taken out of bounds, so there's a heavy penalty. But basketball, the way it's played in in the NBA, the way it's played in college basketball, there's a penalty on the, on the top score. I mean, if he gets his 6th foul, he's out of there. Here, at least you keep your best player in the game. You may have to improvise a little bit, but you don't take him out. I think that's the way it should be.
So they call it an excessive foul rule. They stay, but you pay the price, get the shots, and the ball retained by the fouled team. Perry Young penetrating, drive in the middle, and fouled on the play by Metcalf.
Again, now here's your 5-man, and that's Perry Young taking it to the basket.
See, on that play, Tom, Metcalf just held his ground, planted his feet, stood there and taken the charge. The foul would have gone the other way. He elected to raise up, and that cost him. Valentine goes out. Flory is back in. Metcalf, the man you're looking at, the man that committed the foul, and at the line, Perry Young. 92 to 89. 93 to 89. Calgary with the lead. Johnson getting a lot of physical pressure by Kelsey Weems. Puts the head down, gets it up. Good job of bringing the ball up against the pressure within 8 seconds. And a nice spinning J by Mario Donaldson.
Mario wanted that shot. He came off a double screen coming from the weak side, got the ball at the top, and hit it. They did a nice job. Saskatchewan did a nice job of picking their guy off, their men off.
Metcalf very quickly picking up his 3rd foul. Well, he looks to be a little out of sync. But again, if the team were healthy and Petty's were here, Metcalf probably wouldn't be playing.
No, he wouldn't get that much time, Eddie. He's down there at the bottom, 9th or 10th man. And again, there'll be a change or two made at Saskatchewan.
And Dudley Bradley replaces Metcalf in the ball game. 93-91, 8:51 to play in the 4th. Carlos Clark. Yep, you just joined us. He's the same Carlos Clark that came out of Ole Miss in '83 and was with the Boston Celtics from '83 to '85. 95 to 91 Calgary. Clark with 7 points. Out of bounds, and it'll go back to Saskatchewan.
The 2 Mikes, I mentioned that again, they've done a very nice job of officiating in a very, very fast-paced game.
85-91, Calgary with the lead. Conley stripped, Clark with a steal. He does that well. Out ahead with a 1-man advantage. Weems cuts to the rack and lost the ball out of bounds. And Kelsey Weems, as quick as he is and as many good things as he's done, he turns the ball over a lot too.
I think when you have a player like Kelsey, you've got to live with that, Eddie, because he's going to do certain things. He's very, very quick. He is going to turn it over periodically.
Good point. Quickness will do that. Remember Lucius Allen? Boy, was he quick.
Yeah, and Lucius did that a lot too, right?
Right.
You'd make that turnover every once in a while. And we've seen, again, Dudley Bradley do this type of thing, a good steal.
Johnson missing, getting it back, trying it again, 95-93. The Storm staying right there, Tom, under 8 to play.
Well, Mike Riley's done an absolute great job in keeping this team together in spite of the injuries that they've had. They're playing very good basketball, playing very, very hard.
Weems and Jerry Johnson, if you haven't already noted, are having a terrific hand-to-hand battle, both on the ball and off the ball. There's Kelsey Weems, 95-93.
Well, there's the foul right there by Dudley Bradley. The thing is, with Johnson, and now you've got Jim Thomas coming in the ball game. So I would say that Roger maybe is going to go a little bit more pattern type offense now with Thomas in the game.
Saskatchewan, and this could be a big factor, Tom, here in the 4th with their 4th team foul. Calgary only 1. So the next foul, penalty time, as the bonus will go into effect for Calgary on the next Saskatchewan team foul. And of course, that always hurts when you're getting fouls and going to the line and the other team isn't. And a close ball game. Mario Donaldson, he can sky. As they say, like good yeast, he can rise. And a foul call on the post up. And this foul will go on, let's see, Jimmy Thomas. That's the 2nd team foul on Calgary. Conley, Jerry Johnson, Dudley Bradley, Mario Donaldson. Saved by Donaldson. Flory out of position. Conley over Clark. Well, that Conley can get up there, can't he?
Oh, he can. He's just a tough guy. He reminds, well, in build anyway, reminds me a lot of Don Kogis, the old Marquette player. Just kind of the way he's put together. He can't score like Don could, though.
Kogis didn't have those kind of hammers, though.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Thomas. Jimmy Thomas. And it's 98-93. Calgary as they widen the gap a little bit with 6:50 to play in the fourth. Conley, foul, goes to the line, maybe a three. Perry Young commits. 98-95, a chance to make it a two-point ball game, and something to keep in mind as we look at Conley taking the ball to the basket.
Well, there's just a great drive by Jeff T. Conley. The thing that I was going to mention, Eddie, well, now Calgary's made a change. They had three guards in the lineup for a little bit, but now they've come back. Now they've taken Perry Young out.
That's the fifth foul against Perry Young.
Well, they still got the three in there with Kelsey Weems, Jim Thomas, and Chip England. So they still got three small players.
Two-point ball game, 98-96, the 88's. A lot of numbers in throwing at you. 98-96, the 88's. Jim Thomas. Rebound by Stuckey. And now it's Dudley Bradley's turn to bring it over. Overlay, Flory gets it back. And a foul call by Flory. Well, earlier in the game, we were talking about some of the fellas that are close to the 6'5" mark and some of the incidences that have happened to try and measure them and keep them under that mark.
Well, I had a player by the name of Sylvester Gray last year in the league. Had two teams, I think, complained about him. And so we'd measured him about. Great player, great shot by Chip England. And so the league sent someone in to measure him, and it was close, but he passed. That would have been a $10,000 fine and a suspension of the coach. Yours truly.
Wouldn't want that to happen. Dudley Bradley, again a two-point game. I heard stories of fellas putting barbells on their shoulders for a couple of hours, hoping to compress the vertebrae so that when they measured them, it'd be a fraction under the 6'5" mark, just to beat the limit. Jim Thomas on the miss. Here comes Mike Flory. This is his center leading the break. And dumps it into the corner to Donaldson. He misses a chance to tie the ball game with 5:17 to play. Calgary will take a timeout. Should it go to overtime, it's a 7-point sudden death job. Keep it in mind, 2-point lead Calgary.
Thursday night, Sports Channel America serves up a little bit of the blarney with an all-Irish night of sports. Golf, horse racing, rugby, and more come your way direct from Ireland. The Irish Sports Cavalcade, 7:30 Eastern, only on Sports Channel America. Thursday night. 1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today. Wednesday nights, take a closer look at America's future Olympic stars on U.S. Olympic Showcase. See boxing's World Championship Challenge and girls' World Junior Fast Pitch Softball. 7:30 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Wednesday.
Planning. Where'd I get the capital to start this business with my daughter? By investing for the long haul. And forget full commission brokers. I called Charles Schwab. Munis, mutual funds, blue chips, and I save plenty with Schwab's low commissions. Every day I tell my daughter, think long term. Make your own decisions. Be your own man.
For a free Schwab Fact Kit, call toll-free 800-841-0300.
Calgary can't put away Mike Riley's team. They're hanging tough, trailing by 2. So
Mike is really under control, and this is the best way to deal with today's players. I mean, you just can't go off on guys the way you used to be able to years ago. You just have to be not necessarily professorial, as you used to call Ron Blomberg back in the old days, but you can't go off on him. He's just doing a great job of being under control in the timeout.
Ryan Pollard, of course, is going to be an add. Be a nice addition, too. This fellow here, Riley, looking forward to his return.
Brian's the type of a guy that we're looking forward to adding to our ball club. We feel like we've been very competitive so far this year, but a little added depth at this point in the season is something that we're definitely going to benefit from. And Brian brings us a dimension in all three important areas of the basketball game, which is offense, defense, and rebounding.
That'll be a nice addition. Get Petty's back. 198 hanging in here with the home Calgary 88's, a team that many people figure will be right there when it's all said and done this year. 5:17 to play in the fourth quarter. 2-point ball game. Jim Thomas of Calgary handling. Kelby Stuckey back to Chip Englund, coming off that high screen, trying to take the shot, forced it, and Jeff D. Conley's got it. Saskatchewan with a chance to tie. That's Everett Stevens. Mario Donaldson down to Dudley Bradley. High off the glass. Bradley has become a scorer in this league, and he's got 21 tonight.
Well, he did a nice job of posting up deep, and they got him the ball, and he just turned around, hit that turnaround jump shot.
Stuckey, high line. There's a danger in fronting people in this league.
I think there's a danger of fronting people anyway. I think you can side them. I don't like the front. I like to play either behind or side.
Bradley had nowhere he could go, looked right and left, and then took that little fadeaway. That's a tough one to stop. I don't care who you are, and it's 102 to 102. Thomas on the drive, foul by Everett Stevens. We're all tied. We have 4:18 to play.
No, you get a situation like Jim Thomas going to the basket. That's a play you've got to finish. I mean, you've got to extend to the basket. It's got to be two and possibly a foul.
There's something else with these figures in the Salk. You've been around this game too long. 5,059 here tonight. You said somewhere around 5.
Well, hey, I've been around a long time, Ed.
Well, you left the hotel at about 1 today. Were you counting tickets? 4:18 to play, regulation. 103-102, Thomas. 104-102, Calgary a lead.
Been a very responsive crowd, I might say.
Well, they responded when you walked in here tonight with a standing ovation. About 10 people in the crowd at the time.
I think that's right.
Englund knocked down. Lucky he didn't get a leg injury. Stuckey and a jam. And suddenly a break in Calgary, a 4-point lead. Under 4 to play. Can't afford turnovers now. Deflected by the 88 Stuckey. Jerry Johnson and the Storm with Everett Stevens, Dudley Bradley, Jeff D. Conley, and Valentine are on the floor to try and get a couple here. Uh-oh. And there's what we were talking about. You really have to be careful of the turnovers now.
Well, you do, and you've also got a very smart team that you're playing against that's going to take advantage of any mistakes you make, especially at this stage of the game.
Storm with 16 turnovers, Calgary 19. Nice little steam shovel layup by Everett Stevens. 106 to 104. The Calgary Flames with 3:33 remaining. I said Flames, it's 88's, but there's a flame going on the floor right now by Calgary. Like that. I looked up and I saw one of those Flames signs here in the building. How about that?
Well, we were talking about Badger Bob Johnson, too, who used to coach here, who we both know pretty well.
Badger Bob. There's Jeff D. Conley. And it's 109 to 106. Calgary with the ball. There's Chip Englund. Gets the back screen by Stuckey. Stevens fights through the pick. Comes back out, gets it. Have a two-man game going on the right. Excellent job by Valentine, Tom, to fight through.
He did, and he sided the guy. He sided him. Didn't give a very good passing angle in there. Chip really kind of telegraphed the pass a little bit.
And Englund deflects the entry attempt. Here's Thomas. And they won't give him continuation. Didn't matter because it didn't go. Foul call. We're down to 2.5 to play. 2:33 to be exact. Timeout. Calgary at home. Riley's team trailing by 3. Don't go away now.
Climb aboard for a cockpit view of America's great air battles. 4 action-packed video cassettes that zero in on our spectacular history of combat aviation. Fly with World War II's most fearsome fighter planes. The Warhawk P-40 in China. The Lightning P-38 in the South Pacific. The Thunderbolt P-47 over North Africa and Europe. The Mustang P-51s that struck at Germany. Learn how the helicopter became our most effective combat weapon in South Korea and Vietnam. Take off with the men behind the guns. Fighter races from World War I's Eddie Rickenbacker to Vietnam's Steve Ritchie. Hold on tight for a thrilling view of our incredible jet fighters in never-before-seen battle footage. Warbirds of World War II, Chopper Fury, the fighter races, the jet wars. Each action-filled volume is only $14.98. Save $10 and order the collector's set of all 4 volumes in this handsome case for only $49.98.
To order, call the toll-free number on your screen now. They're taking off, so climb aboard. Call the 800 number that's on your screen now.
Get ready to launch yourself into the world of Air and Space Smithsonian, a world that captivates the imagination. Satellites, superjets, soaring, something different every other month. There's no other magazine like Air and Space, and with your subscription comes membership in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
To order Air and Space, call 800-841-0300 and receive a full year, 6 issues for just $18 with membership in the National Air and Space Museum. 800-841-0300.
Oh boy, they're jamming here at the Saddle Dome, the Olympic Saddle Dome.
Coming out of that box motion, let's get into our shooters and let's move.
Let's just listen to Roger here. The thing that, and this is something that's you see more with a veteran club, listen to the give and take that they have with the different players. With a younger team, Mike Riley's not going to do that as much. An older team, these guys have been in this situation many times before. So let's just listen to what Roger's got to say.
You got to get away from it. Let's try it next time down. Hey, if it's a miss, though, look ahead and create. We're shooting free throws right here. Okay? Who's shooting free throws? Listen.
And notice that they do listen. He said, listen, he's letting them all talk. Then he said, listen, they're ready to go. That was an impressive timeout.
Everybody hear that?
There's nothing so disconcerting as having a team not listen to a coach who's trying to get a point across. And sometimes teams will get away from you. That will happen.
That's the first time fans, anytime you watch a game, you watch and see what players do during the timeout. That's the first really example of when you see a team getting away from a coach, not only just that game, but like maybe the coach isn't going to be around a long time. You see that. You see that when things start to go bad.
They look into the crowd, talking to the guy next to him.
That's right. Where are they going afterwards?
Yeah, right. Jim Thomas at the line makes the first. 110 to 106, 233, and 2 big free throws by Thomas. It's 111 to 106, 230. Saskatchewan is over the limit on fouls now. Calgary still has 1 to take. And on the outlet attempt, the Storm with a steal. Oh, my goodness. Almost a big mistake by Everett Stevens. But the Storm hang in there, and now they're within 3 with 2:12 to play. 111, 108. Crowding the 2-minute mark.
2 minutes left in the quarter. 2 minutes.
Carlos Clark. There's a matchup. Clark on Dudley Bradley. A couple of old veterans. And Clark comes away with a deuce.
Oh, big basket, Eddie. They went to Carlos in a 1-on-1 situation. He missed the shot, but fouled it, got the 2.
Conley has it blocked, taken away by Clark. Up ahead trying to go to Stroman. Foul called against Jerry Johnson. And it's starting to come a little unraveled here for the Storm. Roger Lyons' team tightening it up down the stretch with 1:39.
Well, a thing that Roger did in the last 5 or 6 minutes, he went with three inside, or not 3 inside guys, but 3 outside guys, and Chip England, Jim Thomas. Of course, he's got Stroman in there, small guy. Carlos Clark, he's got a very, very small lineup in there.
Here we go,
Again, repeating a foul that normally would not be a shooting foul, but because the Storm are over the limit, it's bonus time and taking advantage of it. It's been big down the stretch. These free throws that the Calgary team are making now are the result of being in the bonus, and they're taking advantage of it.
Well, you called that early, Eddie, with about 6 minutes to go. You called it was a 1-to-4 foul difference, I believe, and it's turned out that's been the difference.
And 44 free throws for Calgary hasn't hurt. 21 for Saskatchewan. Big difference right there. Tough to win on the road, as they say. 1:36 to play. 114 to 108 the score. Calgary with the lead. What does Roger have to say?
Jeffy's here.
Oh, we're gonna have Mike Riley here. I like the way both coaches have handled their timeouts. Both of them have been under control. Both of them have done a very good job.
To force 3-pointers.
Yeah, good point. It is. There's a lot of time.
And if we can get some penetration.
And that's a good coaching point. Even though you're down 6, you still don't need to go for the 3 right now.
114 to 108. 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining in regulation. The World Basketball League wrapping up an eventful evening here in Calgary, and that man Roger Lyons' team trying to draw even with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division. Valentine is in at the middle. He's playing the center spot of the 5-hole, as Tom indicated earlier. Jerry Johnson, Dudley Bradley, the veteran, against Stroman, the rookie. That's the one you want to take advantage of, and they can't. And a loose ball foul called against Stuckey. And for Calgary, that's the foul that they could afford to take. That was number 4. Well, that wasn't a bad foul. They called a foul on Jim Thomas.
No, that's good. That was. You had the big boy who was going to get the rebound, so that was all right to make that foul.
Bradley for 3. Hello.
A 3-point basket by Dudley Bradley.
And right back come the Storm. 114 to 111. Any fouls committed now by either team would be bonus time. Jim Thomas against Johnson. And he tries to take the little man down the boulevard of broken dreams, and a foul is called.
It was kind of interesting. It looked like they had it set for Jim Thomas to try to go one-on-one, even though you've got Carlos Clark, Chip England out there. They just thought maybe they had an advantage on Jerry Johnson.
Everett Stevens is in at one of the guard spots. Jeff D. Conley, Valentine, Johnson, and Dudley Bradley for the Saskatchewan Storm. Now, this man right here, Jim Thomas, has made some huge free throws down the stretch. He's made 7 big free throws down the stretch, Tom, and that's given Calgary a 116-111 lead, and a timeout is called with 1:03 to play.
Yeah, well, Roger Lyons obviously knew what he was doing when he went with the 3 small men. In fact, he's got a very, very small lineup in there with his 3 guards. He's got Carlos Clark and then Stuckey as his rebounder. So he's taken a chance or two. We've done a very, very nice job coaching.
If we have trouble with their prep. Now, right now, your situation is you're at a +6 with 103
Again, it's in. We've had some great shots at timeouts. Boy, that's
what
nice
we've
shot.
got to have here is we've got to have one defensive stop. Now, what are they going to look at here? They'll look to get the...
We're going to throw it in right there. Okay, now here's what we want. Jeffy, right here. Right down here. Carlton here. Everett, we're going to change you. You're right there. Right there. Jerry, you're still here. All right. Start down, set that pick, and come off. Get outside the 3-point line. Carl, 1 step and pick. Okay. You're going for Conley. Right, okay. Everett.
Now,
1 step.
there's a lot at
pick.
stake early in the season for the Calgary team. If we look at the standings, you get an indication of what I had talked about before, and that is the 88's with a win tonight could make it happen. They could move into a tie with the Youngstown Pride or Idle. Both teams would be 8-5 if Calgary can hang on here.
Well, we talked about it earlier. With the 9-game homestand, you can get your level of confidence built up so high with that tremendous start, nobody's going to be able to touch you.
In the South, the Southern standings, Nashville, Dayton, the Florida Jades, Memphis, and the international teams. One other game tonight that could affect those standings. Memphis playing the Canadian national team. That figures in the Southern Division. We don't have a result of that game for you, but we've gotten an idea about the two divisions, the new look division, World Basketball League. They work as hard as the players, those people.
They're having a good time. That's a pretty good dance team. They did some things at halftime. They're good.
I saw you out here working with them a little earlier, too. You're pretty good at that stuff. Hot footing Tom Nissalke. Bradley for a three. England. You understand why he took it with less than a minute to play. His team down by 5. And a good move by Thomas away from Bradley. Thomas has made 8 of 8 free throws tonight. 7 down the stretch. Clark.
See, that's something Eddie, I was just going to mention. That's something you don't want. You don't want the foul because there's still plenty of time.
Plenty of time, 39 seconds. Can't commit fouls here. Penalties in on both sides.
No, that foul was made with 6 seconds on the clock on the drive. So just a very poor job defensively.
Bradley now with 6 personal fouls. Should he commit another foul, remember, you get the shots plus retention. You don't foul out. That's the excessive foul rule, and Mike Riley's going to take a final timeout right here. Let's double check to see where they are. Actually, Saskatchewan has got another timeout to take if they want to. 39 seconds remaining in the game. 119-111. And how the Calgary team is pulled away down the stretch from a time when it was 102 to 102.
Big thing, I think the changes that Roger Lyons made. He had the 3 small guys, England, Thomas in there, Carlos Clark, Stroman.
They got the basketball.
Had Kelsey Weems in there for a while. He went with a very small lineup most of the fourth quarter.
Three-point shot. So what we've got to do is we've got to extend our defense completely out in the perimeter and make sure everything is back at the basket.
Yeah, this is a good point now. Coach Lyons is talking about extending his defense out and making Saskatchewan go for the 2 rather than get the 3. And that's a fairly common strategy when a 3-point shot can hurt you. But extend it out, force the ball, force the player to the basket.
Right? And then let him bring it and we'll get down the floor. We'll stay with box 4.
Let's get a hole. Let's get a hole.
Now, again, everything defensively is back here.
Mike Riley.
Then we got to extend the defense out. We got to extend the defense all the way out to full court. Make sure we get matched up. Don't worry about which man you got. You can't worry about a mismatch right now. You just got to get up on the nearest guy to you and deep and try to deny the ball.
Whoever said coaching is an easy job is crazy.
Did it ever concern you? Did you think about it when they had the shotgun mics in the huddle? Was that something you felt might reveal some of the things that you were doing?
No, not at all. I think it's good for the game. I think fans love it when they have an opportunity to hear what coaches have to say. It's a great, I think, a great thing to do.
Important point, Tom. Calgary on free throws, 14 for 16 in the second half. They've taken advantage. Thomas 8 for 8 in the game has certainly been a lift with 7 down the stretch. 119 to 111. On the come around. Everett Stevens. He's got the 3. 119, 114, 30 seconds remaining. A double check on timeouts. Saskatchewan has none remaining. Calgary with 1 and a 20. And a foul call, Everett Stevens. He had to foul him there.
Yeah, he had to foul. The only thing you can do a little bit differently in that situation is try for a steal. Really slap the ball as hard as you can slap it. Try to hit the guy's wrist and just kind of force a steal or force a loose ball. And then if they call it, they call it.
Stuckey, who had the big first quarter with 10, misses the free throw. He has 18 points in the game. And his team with a 119-114 lead in 28 seconds to play. The Storm with no timeouts left.
Eddie, I came close to being right on in the attendance. I'll make another call for you. This Saskatchewan team is going to be very good about 1 more week when they get all their boys.
Valentine misses the three. Rebound, Jim Thomas. Jump ball with 17 seconds remaining. Riley and the Storm having to launch them from downtown to get back. They trail it by 6.
Well, they trail it by 6. They've done a great job. The players have played hard. The thing is, everybody's encouraged because they know they're going to be very good. They're going to be, I think, the sleeper team in the league this year.
All right, we'll remember that. Coach Tom Nissalke said, saved by the Storm. Jump shot out of the corner by Stevens. He thought he was foul. Carlos Clark gets, goes to Thomas. And the pressure's on, and Johnson with a foul.
Fouls on Saskatchewan, number 1, Jerry Johnson.
Jerry Johnson on the foul with 5 seconds remaining. And Calgary with a 6-point lead. And guess who's at the free throw line again? How important have the free throws been here in the second half? And for this man, Thomas, who is 9 for 9 for the game. Bobby Knight would have been proud. 122-114. 5 seconds remaining. Bradley. And Dudley Bradley tries and is fouled with 1 second remaining. 1 second remaining. Fouled for 3. And he can get it up to 117 if he converts all of these. But it's still all going to be for naught, as the crowd's starting to roll out, and Roger Lyons feeling a little better now.
Yeah, he's feeling better, but he's not happy with it because that was a situation. There's no reason to make that foul.
Dudley Bradley with 27 points. Nice night for the former North Carolina and NBA star. A lot of teams coveted this fellow in the NBA because of the way he played defense. I mean, there were a lot of teams. Well, obvious evidence by the fact 7 teams, 9 years.
He was the consummate role player that just did not score it good enough to find a slot.
And the Storm not quite good enough to beat the Calgary 88's tonight. But as Tom Nissalke said, look out for Saskatchewan, a team to be reckoned with very shortly.
Well, I think they will. I'm glad. I have a lot of respect for both coaches. Mike Riley's been a great friend for years, and Roger I got to know well last year. 2 super people.
Carlos Clark will be back. Roger Lyons with a win. They're tied with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division. Final score, the Calgary 88's 122. The Saskatchewan Storm 117 as the WBL put on a show.
Tuesdays, America's love affair with the outdoors takes on a whole new meaning. Fishing and hunting tips and culinary wonders are just a few of the ingredients on Outdoors America. 9:30 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Tuesdays.
The world's greatest bodybuilder, Lee Haney, winner of 7 straight Mr. Olympia titles, beating Arnold Schwarzenegger's record.
Now you too can learn the same secrets that made me the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Lee Haney introduces 3 new training videos for the arms, chest, and legs. Presenting the Power Arm Workout for those looking to be armed and dangerous. Add mass and power to your biceps. Sculpt and define your triceps. The massive chest workout. Let Mr. Olympia Lee Haney help you blast those pecs and develop that titanic chest. The explosive leg workout is a muscle-pumping video with leg-blasting routines and monstrous squats that'll add size to the thighs and calves.
Now's your chance to purchase the complete package. Buy all 3 videos and save $30.
That's right. Buy all 3 and save $30, or buy each separately and pay $39.99. Work out with Lee Haney and learn Mr. Olympia's secrets. Call toll-free and order now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today. Get on basketball's fast track with the World Basketball League Game of the Week.
Las Vegas showtime. Yeah!
Yugoslavia versus Memphis on Sports Channel America Saturday.
Final score in this one, the Calgary 88's 122, the Saskatchewan Storm 117. It was a good one, tied as late as 102, and a veteran by the name of Carlos Clark had himself a big night. Not so much in scoring, but the way he performed under pressure and kind of led his team around with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 block shots. And he's Tom Nisolke's guest. Tom?
Carlos, let's talk a little bit about that first quarter. I thought it was going to be about 170 to 140.
Well, we strive on getting out to a fast start every game. Coach stressed that a lot, but Saskatchewan, they surprised me tonight. They came out and ran more than I thought they would.
I thought they did a good job. They're going to be a good ball club when Pettis gets back in the lineup and, of course, when Pollard's back there.
No doubt. You know, I think Don is probably the backbone of that team, but they have some other players like Conley and Dudley Bradley, guys that can really put the ball in the basket. And right now, I think it's become a rivalry between the two of us.
What about now your half-court trap? You ran it looked to me about 6 or 7 times and always got something off it. I don't know what you call it defensively, but you trapped it on the sides. They either made them cough the ball up or throw some kind of an interception.
Well, we call it the 40 up. It's just a half-court trap. You try to trap the ball up out on the floor, and we do it in spots. They try to catch teams off, and like you said, we did get a few steals tonight off of that. And we constantly work on that in practice, and I think we've gotten better and better as the season been going on.
Carlos, one last thing. Roger Lyons said that you were the best player he's seen in this league. That's a heck of a compliment because I know what kind of person you are. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Ed, it's back to you.
Okay, Tom, thank you, Carlos, with your 12, your 4 rebounds, your 4 blocks, and a win for the Calgary 88's. Final 122-117. Some final thoughts on the way back.
The acclaimed PBS series on the Civil War is now available on home video cassette from Time Life Video. The reviews are overwhelming.
If better use has ever been made of television, I have not seen it. A video miracle. Magnificent.
5 years in the making, the Civil War brings to life the most devastating conflict in our nation's history.
It's the lonesome dove of documentaries.
It's the complete story of the war as told through the eyes of those who lived it. Call now and we'll deliver your first episode for just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Watch as a massive Union Army meets Robert E. Lee and his rebels at Gettysburg to wage this legendary battle. The Civil War. Call now. Use your credit card and call toll-free for your first episode on the Battle of Gettysburg for just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Future videos will arrive about every other month. There's no commitment to buy. Cancel anytime.
Dudley Bradley with 29 for Calgary, 24 to Chip England for the winning Calgary 88's. They win at 122-117 and are now tied with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division of the WBL. Next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, our WBL Game of the Week features the Yugoslavian national team visiting the Memphis Rockers. Check local listings as it's not available in all areas. Coming up next, USA Soccer. The U.S. national team plays the national team from Ireland. Exciting soccer action on Sports Channel America. Now, this is Eddie Doucette on behalf of Tom Nisolke and our entire production crew in Calgary, Canada, saying so long from the Olympic Saddle Dome.